really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What do you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome to the show on a Wednesday. Caleb's over there. I'm John. I'm right here. You can watch us participate. That is awesome as always. Just be a part of the show. You know, it's funny. So now more than ever, it is all about winning. Remember when Ricky Bobby said that, you know, finishing second is the second loser or whatever? Yeah, that has been a term that's been utilized forever. But now more than ever, what matters the most is winning. And if you find a path, if you find a formula that more than helps you reach that goal, I mean, let's face it, that's why anybody out there today, whatever you're doing, whatever walk of life, whatever career, that is exactly why you were hired. You were hired to win. You were hired to show results. Oftentimes, it doesn't happen. Look how long. Hopefully, most of you out there have not held your breath on the Colts. And I'm not asking you to hold your breath on the Colts this year. In fact, a lot of you would probably suggest I would rather them go down in flames this year because then now more than ever, it would signify that it's time to make a change. Now, after that, what else can you do? Me, however, I can live in a world where I want you guys to be happy about something. You spend money on tickets, you spend money on gear, you come out and hang with me. It's a hell of a time, but it ultimately is the best time when you win. And again, when you find that formula, you take that formula and you run with it. And you can look no further than IU football. And believe me, it's not really a necessity for me to sit here and tell you how they would feel, how IU feels. They're the defending national champions. Really, everybody else be damned. So it struck me the last couple of days with this whole note. And who cares what Notre Dame people think? Seriously, who cares what Notre Dame people think? Who cares what Notre Dame fans think? Who cares what the SEC thinks? Yeah, let them track down their own national championship. Let them dig out of a massive, decades-long, era-long grave that IU football managed to dig out of. Oh, well, look what you're allowed to do right now compared to the past. Who cares? That is the rule. Those are the rules that you live by. So what do? You go put something together. You have a plan, you have a protocol, you have a blueprint that best suits what your beliefs, plus the opportunity now to go out and do something that this program and the fan base never thought it was going to be capable of doing. It was a laughingstock. It was the doormat. You're not going to question how you get there. And I just find it funny. Somebody had sent me this from Blake Topmeyer. I don't know who this dude is. He writes for the USA Today. All that's fantastic. I'm not going to get personal on it. But IU fans should understand this. I was having a back and forth with a so-called IU fan about, well, you know, I really want to see them play Notre Dame, and I want to see them challenge themselves. Hey, jackass, here's what you really want them to see. You want to see them back up again what they did a year ago. Why in this world would anybody, and I mean anybody, ever change their philosophy, their game plan, their blueprint, their protocol, if it has shown what this has shown? IU football. Why would you even consider it? Like, I would find it an issue to even like cobble out a column to be critical about it. You're taking advantage of every asset you have. Hey, by the way, just like every other program has done in the history of programs, the SEC, used to sit on top of the mountain with your arms crossed and say, be damned everybody else with the SEC. You get guys like Colin Cowherd saying, why would anybody want to go to the Big Ten? Why would anybody want to go where it's cold? You can go and hang out where it's warm and you can win and end up in the NFL. Now all that has changed, and guess who doesn't like it? The SEC. The staples. Guess who doesn't like it? Notre Dame. They don't like it. But you know what matters? None of that. What matters would be the results. And again, the game plan that you have works. So why get away from it? Why not continue to do what you do? And it's not all about scheduling. It's not all about having the resources. It is, for the most part, about selecting those players that best fit your program and what translates into winning. So I mentioned this. This was an IU fan yesterday that said, I really wanted to see them play Notre Dame, and I'm disappointed, and I'm an IU fan too. Yeah, and that's fine. You can be an IU fan and be disappointed. I'm just telling you, the last thing you would want as an IU fan is for IU to get away from who they are, to get away from what has benefited them to the highest, to the elite level in the past 2 years. There's no IU fan, real IU fan out there that ever wants to jack with that. And frankly, no matter what anybody says, from Blake Topmeyer, for example, that IU, you have Kurt Signetti, who speaks with bravado, thus he's got a schedule. The column is, Indiana and Kurt Signetti don't whine like the fellas do in the SEC, but the Hoosiers sure know how to duck and run. No, they know how to schedule. They know how to get what is best beneficial to their program. Duck and run. Yeah, I saw them duck and running, and I saw them pounding into the sand in the Rose Bowl, Alabama. That was a duck and run. Alabama ducked and they ran because they got their ass whipped. See, this is what you don't do. And this is why you have to love Signetti and the IU football program. And I don't care where it is. You have to admire this philosophy of, hey, we're going to do over here what we do. We're going to keep our coaches. We're going to keep our coordinators. We have a philosophy on how we bring in players. Do we have the resources? Absolutely. But we're going to utilize that to the best of our ability, and we're going to put ourselves in position. This has been a long-standing trend. There's nothing new about this whatsoever. The new era of folks that are bent out of shape because IU is now a football power, those are the folks that are upset about it. And you know what? Who gives a crap? Frankly, who cares what Blake Topmeyer has to say about it? Nobody cares. But again, you have to solidify the point that it is all about winning. And now more than ever, it is all about the results and what you can do. I don't even want to get into the nuts and the bolts of, well, Notre Dame really wanted USC back, and, IU is probably going to end up developing a relationship with an SEC team. I don't even care about any of that. It is all about winning, now more than ever. And IU has taken full advantage of it. You got to give them credit. Barry Odom gave him credit, the Purdue head coach. If they can do it, why can't anybody else? You have to be able to do it right. And you have to be able to put together a plan. And then when that plan works, you play off of it. Yeah, all this other stuff is just comical to me. However, I will say this, it's got to be incredibly gratifying for any IU fan or even that of Big Ten. Because, listen, the entire Big Ten's in on this too. But certainly IU is at the focal point of it. You got to be incredibly happy that that's how the rest of college football, again, all those blue bloods, those historically great programs, if you're IU, now they're all bent out of shape. Now you've got Nick Saban. Nick Saban's going to Capitol Hill to explain why things have to change. Oh, I'm sorry. Why do things have to change right now? Because you say so. Because the teams that used to win are no longer winning because they don't have the advantage. Now everything is out in the open. Now everybody has a fighting chance if they have the resources, if they're savvy, if they have the plan, the blueprint that works. Now everything is on the table. Now you don't have the advantage. Now we all get it. I love the way that IU goes after this, and I hope that continues. Curt Cignetti speaks with bravado is because he's got 2 losses in 2 years at IU and the national title. Anybody else out there would do the same thing. I'd feel pretty good about myself, too. So would you. And so would this Oppermeyer or Horsenmeyer or whatever is the USA Today columnist. None of this matters. And I know you're going to ask, hey, why don't you have him on? I don't care to hear his philosophy, but there's going to be a complete disagreement in the philosophy. This only became a problem when a team like IU did what a team like IU did last year. Oh, and now all of a sudden to the dorks out there, this is a problem. It's not a problem. What you're doing is you're playing to the best of your ability to the rules that have been presented. And one of the quicker schools out there to do that, to jump on board and say, okay, this is how it's going to be, let's get to it, has been that of IU. It is incredibly high comedy. I'm trying to think of the line that he has. Here it is. Quote, if you're going to ooze, by the way, this is the first time I've used the word ooze ever, unless you have some type of sore. If you're going to ooze conceit, as Curt Cignetti does, then you shouldn't schedule like you're scared this Indiana revelation is a mirage. No, you should do exactly what you normally do because it works. That's why, Blake is writing about crap, and that's why IU and a coach in the program is defending a national championship. That's why. We can discuss that. I think we should, honestly, at 239-1070. If you guys want to chime on, we can too. The other thing is, and you get more of it, and I'm glad that others are now jumping on board. Like, of all people, I think this Dan Wolken guy even jumped on board. I have said this all along. This is not new. There's nothing at all fresh about this particular take of mine. With Caitlin Clark, get the Aces and the Fever coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here on the Fan. 6:30, Tid Rowe has you. Of course, that is on Amazon Prime or some crap like that. Anyway, I've said all along that it's all about ball. And I don't care about anything else other than the basketball aspect of it. Nothing else matters. Metallica. Seriously, it doesn't. It's just about the basketball aspect. Yet everybody feels compelled to chime in, from guys like Matt Walsh to Megyn Kelly calling Caitlin Clark a coward. She is not a coward. She just wants to play basketball. She said that all the time. That's okay. She's not there to give you more fuel to whatever fire you're trying to build. She is there to win games, to lead for the Fever around here, and that's that. Nothing more and nothing less. Listen, if she wants to be outspoken, if she wants to be more about her outspoken brand, like Sophie Cunningham, then do it. But until that point in time, I think everybody around here is pretty satisfied with her just playing basketball. And that's where it all starts. You know, it's funny. Like, I've become more of a Caitlin Clark fan just because of that. Because she's telling everybody else out there to get bent in her own way. Hey, why don't you guys all get bent? I just want to play basketball. I have such a deeply rooted admiration for that. And there's nothing wrong either. You can be who you want to be. Some are built to build their brand, built to be outspoken on different things. Others are built to go at basketball or their career of choice the way that they've always gone about it, with complete focus in a world that is trying to constantly take you off of your game. I think somebody sent me this a little bit earlier, too. What was it in response to whatever this Oppermeyer or Blake's guys was? Rage baiting. I don't know about rage baiting. I don't feel like I'm outraged at all. I just feel like I'm setting the record straight regarding IU, and the same thing regarding Caitlin Clark. She's here to hoop. She is not here to be an advocate of whatever agenda you want to push. Seriously, piss off. If you have an agenda you want to push and you're upset, you're outraged because she's all about ball and doesn't care about it, then piss off. It's not up to you, and it's all about basketball. So if you want that type of angle, there are different avenues for that type of angle. I just want to talk about basketball. I want to talk about the reasons why they win, the reasons why they lose, be critical if they lose and why they lost. Talk them up if they do win. That's what she's saying. There's nothing wrong with it. She is not here to be a part of your agenda, either pro or con, positive or negative. She is here to step back and knock down threes. She's here to set up her teammates. Defensively, sometimes she's here to step one step to the left and one step to the right, and then let somebody go right around her. But those are the negatives of the basketball aspect of it. Because sometimes she struggles to guard. But I admire her now more than ever because of that stance. I'm so sick and tired of everybody trying to drag everybody else into their own agenda-riddled situation. You know, their own verbal grifting, hey, we got to make sure that somebody hears my opinion, so I'm just going to go ahead and naturally hashtag Caitlin Clark, and everybody's going to take off and run with it. Yeah, around here, it should be about basketball. At least that's how I feel. If you don't, so be it. But we're going to cuss you because that's how we feel. And we have the platform to cuss you if you don't feel that way. And we probably will. Hey, by the way, to Stephanie White, 8-2 record in July, was named the WNBA Coach of the Month. There you go. And for everybody that hates Stephanie White, you guys can stick that too. Seriously. You guys want to stick that? Stick that one where the sun don't shine. I don't know Stephanie White. I don't think Stephanie White's ever been on the show. I don't know if anybody outside of Lexi Hull's ever been on the show. It doesn't matter. You guys stick that where the sun don't shine. As I've said all along, this is not a coaching situation. This is a playing situation. 8-2, Coach of the month of July. I'm going to tell you, Caleb, a lot of people came at me about Stephanie White, and they still do. Yeah, and all this stupidity about, well, she doesn't want to get Caitlin Clark. She doesn't want to give her the ball. She doesn't want her to succeed. All this stupidity. I'm not suggesting this is the end game here, but it does solidify the point in the season where this team is and how much better they're playing. And the coach is a significant part of it.
Well, and you look at the last couple of years, John, the Fever, I mean, you just take the last 2 years, for example, and I think we're seeing it now. Towards the end of the season, they do start to play their best basketball of the season. And I think that's what you want out of a coach. So I'm with you on Stephanie White. Last year, they ended the season so strongly and made that playoff run. And I think you're starting to see them play so much better right now. Obviously, the defense is still an issue, and we don't know if that's going to get resolved. But everything else seems to be a lot better. And I agree. I couldn't agree with you more.
That's Caleb over there, who, by the way, was supposed to play tonight. Little hoop at Greenwood Christian, but you have a prior obligation. This would be the first check mark next to prior obligation.
Come on.
I know, I'm a little hardcore. Everybody knows me to be hardcore. I'm fun-loving, but hardcore when it comes to that.
I'm going to have myself a good Wednesday night with some friends of mine.
Where are we going tonight? Where are we going instead of Greenwood Christian so we can hoop?
I think that's still up in the air. I don't know where we're going.
Part of the reason I will say this, and I like going to play with these guys on Wednesday night, but part of the reason is Tuesday night was so epically bad. That's the reason why I feel compelled to go on a Wednesday night.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And we talked in our pre-show meeting, that's what we talked. We talked about last night's hoop session. So
yeah, it was awful.
It's pretty bad.
How in the world do you spend an hour and a half someplace and play 4 games? What the hell? 4 games.
You got the short end, too, because the one game that went the longest, you were off that one. And
let me
so
tell you this. I feel like I know this really well. There is zero way in the world that anybody should have a 35-minute pickup game. 35 minutes. You know how bad that is? 35-minute pickup game. Seriously, everybody out there has to be a jackass. 35 minutes. They should have just shut the lights off and made us all leave. 35 minutes. I watched 35 minutes. I watched you guys. Can't happen. Now I'm going to go on a Wednesday night because you know me, I got to work at a caloric deficit. I don't know. Like, I think I buzzed off 1,300 on Sunday at St. Jude's. Hey, hell, last night I was lucky to get to 50. I sat in the stands the entire time where you guys jacked around out there in Game 3. 4 games. Marlin Jackson is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour, the former Colts DB, the author of the most important play in the history of the Colts. Marlin Jackson, longtime friend, has a charity effort as well. We know that to be true. But has authored up the biggest play, the biggest moment in Indianapolis Colts history. And I don't care about Baltimore and, Johnny U and what happened. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Indianapolis Colts history. Marlin Jackson, we're going to the Super Bowl, picking off Tom Brady, the biggest moment in Indianapolis Colts history. The author, Marlin, joins us, bottom of the hour. Bowen's going to be here in the 4 o'clock hour. Has Bowen been out of shape? Because he's a Notre Dame honk, right? Has he been out of shape about this whole no IU and Notre Dame thing? Do we know this to be true?
I don't know. I think that's something.
Does he have his panties in a wad here? We got to get him unwadded.
He's measured. I think he's probably excited that Notre Dame is re-upping with USC. That's how, because that's why this series is getting canceled.
I just think that everybody's nuts if they think that Kurt Cignetti at IU all of a sudden is going to change up because a handful of nerds want him to schedule differently. Who cares? Who cares? You brought IU a national championship. I don't care if they're playing Bloomington North and Bloomington South in the first 2 weeks. Doesn't matter. If it works, you go with it. How hard is that to understand? I know we live in a world of Dungeons and Dragons and Gen Con and dorks and all this stuff. And, hey, you radicalize stuff and you got to change it. This is not rocket science. They have a philosophy. And you ride that until it bucks you. When it does, then you can adjust. But until it does, why would you want to change? Why would any of these dorks out there ask them to change? It's incredible to me. Bowen coming up at the top of the hour. I don't know if he's asked them to change or if he's upset about it, but I know him as a Notre Dame, quote, honk. He joins us at 4. So what's Scott Docterman, correct? The Athletic National College Football reporter. So he's probably going to agree with the other dorks out there. Is he in dorkish agreement or is he in my agreement?
I can't speak on what he thinks of the scheduling thing, but he did just write an article this morning about Indiana's value as a football program going up over the last 2 years.
Why
and
not?
Gets into the numbers and talks with some people. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say about writing that piece and kind of where Indiana goes from here as a football brand.
R.I.P. to Janie Hodge. We talked about that yesterday, as we learned at the end of the show. A piece of significant history around here that we all so enjoy. Generation X, the tail end of baby boomers. Whether it was Janie, Cowboy Bob, the original programming of WTTV Channel 4, from Doug Rafferty to Paul Poteet back in the day, too, to Chuck Marlowe, to IU games, to Purdue games, Jim Gerard in the midday. It was the most unique and independent and original programming that you will ever see. Sammy Terry on the weekends. It was our smartphone back in the day. It was our cable. It was our outlet to entertainment. And Janie passed away yesterday as SkyPoint to Janie. And again, our memories of Channel 4 will linger and linger forever. Thank you, Janie, for what you brought us. All right, quick break on the other side. That's Caleb over there. I'm John right here. We've got a family 4-pack of State Fair tickets. I believe I'm going to be out there next week or the week after. I am in a free throw shooting contest with people. So, yeah, come out and get your ass whipped by me. Unless my shoulder hurts, and then we might.
I won't be there. I'll have some social events to attend, John.
Caleb will have to drink with the fellas. That's what you're doing tonight. Where are you guys going?
We don't know yet. It's kind of up in the air.
What's in mind? Where are you thinking about going?
I have my little dive bar spot called Dorman Street, which is close to my house, so I like going there.
Where should Caleb and his bros go tonight?
Yeah.
Since he's skipping hoop with me on a Wednesday night at Greenwood Christian, you guys pick a spot for Caleb and his bros to have some drinks.
I like it.
All right. 317-239-1070. You guys can tell me on the text line. You can tell me at JMV 1070 on X if you like as well. Do not go anywhere. Are we weather updated right now? I think we are weather official. Let's get you updated. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. This is Fox 59 and a weather update.
We are partly cloudy across central Indiana tonight. Temperatures cooling into the upper 60s. Rain chances moving in for our Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day with highs near 83 degrees. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, John here for Connecticut. Connecticut Water Systems. You don't have Connecticut? Well, simply put, you don't have the best water system out there. So how can you get Connecticut in your place? You want to know? You start by having a free in-home water test. My friend Joe and the gang can get you in there. You sign up at Connecticut.com, and what they're going to do is find out what is exactly necessary for you and your water situation to be at its best. The drinkability, the bathability, the washability, all high-level importance. They're going to figure out exactly what they can do and then put together a system specific for your needs. Not one size fits all. Connecticut.com and Joe and the gang today. Sign up, get them in your home for that absolutely free water test. And then down the road, you're going to have the best water possible, courtesy of Connecticut. That's Connecticut.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
We'll be in a professional arena. We'll be in front of a lot of people.
And now sports.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Caleb's over there. I'm John. Somebody says you got to go to Montpelier, Ohio.
That sounds like 10 minutes from where I grew up.
The Moose.
Who's?
You ever been to the Moose?
I can tell you right now who sent that text. That's my dad.
Oh, that's your dad? Yeah. Shout out to your dad. Does your dad like the way that I treat you here? Is he cool with it?
I've never asked him that. I'm sure
because
he'll chime in on the text line
I know you
it.
want to play, but I'm basically make you go.
I know you do.
Like you're lucky tonight. I'm not more hardcore about this because you had previous plans, and I just laid that on you this morning.
Well, my dad's a basketball coach, so he likes that I'm
hardcore. Your dad and I. How old's your dad? Is he older than me?
71.
Man, that's awesome. You think I could have played for him? Or would he have worn me out? Because you got to keep in mind, when I was in high school, I was the world's biggest wussy. Seriously, I was such a wuss. I was whining. I'm whining like this guy coming from the same crowd who cries about Notre Dame's schedule constantly but cancels the series with ND. That's me right there, a big wuss. That's exactly how I sounded. I cried about everything, whined about everything, soft about everything. When I go back, I almost got my ass whipped once big time at a Bloomfield high school dance. I really needed it. I look back on it, and I wish there would have been more done. Like, I got sucker punched, but it should have been more than that. I needed it. You ever feel like you needed your ass whipped? I did.
I think some people in this world might need that every once in a while, John. I don't know about me.
Like Brooks Barnheiser, who was with OKC, I always wish that his dad, Mark, would have been my coach. Because all we did when we played together, when he was a high school coach, like he is right now still, we just argued on the floor, but we were still good off of it. And I always think that dudes like that bring out the best in you because they challenge you. I never felt like I was challenged. I always felt like, now looking back on it, that coaches are those that led me around me, let me get away with being a wuss. And I needed, Ron Heklinski, who is the former Anderson coach and a great high school basketball coach, was coaching Edgewood when I was in high school. And I needed to play for somebody like that who would kick my ass because I was just such a clownish wuss. I look back on that. That's a regret. I don't want to have any regrets, but that's a regret I have. So maybe your dad could have done that, right? Could have worked on me good.
Could have turned out differently, John.
Yeah, could have. Coming from the same crowd who cries about Notre Dame's schedule constantly. Can you imagine sending that to me just now? What a wussy. Seriously, I need it. And I know a lot of you probably evaluate things over the course of your life. I do this all the time. And that was a defining moment. Not that everybody around me at that time was not good. They were good people. But I was able to get away with stuff, and I wish now that I wasn't. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is the author of the biggest play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts and a friend of this show. Marlin Jackson joins us. How you doing, pal?
I'm good, JMV. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
It feels way too long. Did you look back on your playing career on whatever level and think, man, I'm glad I was pushed in the fashion in which I was?
Oh man, I was listening. You talk about life. I don't have to necessarily look back and think I wish I was pushed. I mean, I was pushed hard from an early age, just for my life circumstance. Period. Right? I grew up with a lot of adversity within my household, within my community. So that shaped my attitude and that shaped my mindset as a competitor. So the playing field, that was my outlet, right? To let out everything that was pent up on the inside from having difficulties in everyday life and struggles. And that became my outlet on the football field. But, and listening to everything you guys are talking about, adversity is helpful in helping you grow. The only way you actually really grow in life is through challenges and through adversities. It's not through everything being perfect and everybody telling you how great you are and not having any difficulties. That's not where growth really occurs in life.
I so wish, looking back on it, that I was challenged even more. I do. And you're kind of like, I talk to my kids about not having regrets. And that's one massive regret that I have to live with right now too. And maybe it's easier to look in the rear view to see exactly who you were. And like, I enjoy who I am right now, but I just wish that there would have been more that could have been squeezed out of me at the time. And honestly, I feel bad because I kind of wussed out on a lot of things back then too. And I have a great deal of admiration for those guys that were coached hard. They agree to be coached hard. And then those that also coach them hard.
Yeah, that's it's always a fine line, but I think that's one of the challenges in society now is, parents being okay with their kids being pushed and being coached hard, understanding that the ultimate goal is about growth, and it's not necessarily about their comfort level and where they are right now, but where we would like them to be. And it's going to take some challenges and challenging moments to actually help them get to that possibility that is within them.
It's Marlin Jackson who joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What is your thought on this Colts team? Not just for what you've seen so far in camp, but for the expectation. I mean, there are a lot of question marks, and really going into the season, there is a lot of crossing your fingers and hoping. But what is your expectation for this group as we view it right now, early stages of camp in Westfield?
Well, I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind when you pose that question is there's a lot of potential, right? And I said there's a lot of potential because of what we saw last year before the injuries occurred. And having that perspective and seeing the current roster, knowing that if we stay healthy, this could be a really, really good team with Daniel Jones at quarterback, a strong offensive line, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and others, right? There's a lot of potential on offense. When you look at the defense and you look at this young, talented secondary, you look at the young guys along the defensive front, along with the veterans that are anchors up front, like the DeForest Buckner and Grover, and then you look at the young talent at the linebacker position and safety position, you see that there's a lot of potential, but it is all predicated on, do we stay healthy? That is, for me, that is the number one factor going into this season is, can the key players on this team stay healthy? Can you keep Daniel Jones healthy? Can you keep Jonathan Taylor healthy? Can you keep Alec Pierce healthy? Like, those are the critical things that, as this season unfolds, is what I will watch. Can you keep Sauce Gardner healthy, right? Can you keep Mooney Ward healthy, which is a big question mark when you speak about a guy like him that has concussion issues. Football is a very physical sport, and we saw the potential on the cusp of being realized last season, but then we saw the wheels fall off when the injury started to occur.
So Marlin Jackson with us. You are a valued member, as I mentioned. You're the author of the biggest play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts, of that Colts secondary. How do you view up and down this Colts secondary? Maybe compare that between the one you played with and the expectations that you feel, hopefully, when healthy, this group can live up to.
Well, I mean, the sky's the limit. When I look at this secondary on paper, I think arguably, talent-wise, one of the best secondaries in the National Football League. When you look at the corners, and then you look at Cam Bynum as safety, but then when you look at the young guy that we brought in out of LSU is AJ Halsey, and then you look at Wally at nickelback. There is a lot to be excited about. Wally is picking up right where he left off in training camp last year. It's great to see. It's great to see Sauce Gardner healthy, because we all know he's an all-pro level player. But then we know what Mooney Ward can do when he's actually healthy. And then we know the playmaking ability that Cam Bynum has. So then, you add in A.J. Halsey as a young, talented safety. If he plays up to the level of his potential, those starters in terms of the two corners, the nickelback, the two safeties, I mean, arguably the best in the league, but then it comes into play. We all know that at some point in time in the season that there are going to be some guys that need to step up, right, the backups. So then it's about depth. What does the depth look like at secondary? We really won't find out until we are tested. But when you look at the front line, it is arguably one of the most talented secondaries in the National Football League.
It's interesting, too, and Marlin Jackson joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, that we're not going to find out a lot of things until week number 1 against Baltimore, and that's why things get thick schedule-wise with this team quickly. In the first 5 weeks, you got to come correct, or this is going to be problematic for the remainder, too, and I think that's why you kind of look at this and you wonder, hopefully Daniel Jones is ready. We've yet to talk about Alec Pierce. Maybe some edge rushing potential consistently with Leatu Latu can be involved in this, but a lot really has to come together early, and this has not been a staple of this Colts team in recent history. Or last year it was, with injuries compromising things, but prior to that, not so much.
Yeah, well, we cannot afford to have one of the stars that we have historically had over the last, we want to say, 5+ seasons, with last year being the exception. With the difficulties that lie ahead with the scheduling, there is no room for error early in the season. And I think that it should have created a sense of urgency in the off season, and even more so now that we are in training camp. So I'm sure the coaches are preaching urgency, consistency, finishing, all of those themes, right? Trying to drill that into the mindset, and then hopefully they're creating a highly competitive atmosphere daily at practice, because that is where it all starts, is competition in practice. Competition in practice leads to positive habits that transition into results within the game. So, we can only speculate right now, but, these are my hopes of what I hope is occurring when in the meetings and on the practice field, the competition daily, in meetings, on the field, in the weight room, sharpening that iron, developing those habits so that we are ready to go out there and run through this first part of the season and build the confidence to sustain us through the rest of the season.
It is Marlin Jackson with us. We've talked about plenty of times in the past your foundation. You guys have something going on. It is a Colts trivia event, August the 13th, I believe, right? Marlin, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. August 13th, we have the second time that we're doing this Colts trivia at the Skyline Club in Indianapolis. The Colts will be playing the New England Patriots in their first preseason game that evening. Leading up to that, from 6 to 8 p.m., you can come and hang out with me. I'm going to be the host for the evening on the behalf of the Fight for Life Foundation and the Skyline Club of Indianapolis. And really, it's a relaxed, laid-back environment where we're going to have 5 rounds of trivia that I will host. We're going to have live music with DJ Lockstar. And when it is trivia,
Lockstar's tough right there. I like Lockstar, man. Well done. Yeah.
Great guy. Does a great job on the tables, and we always work with him at Fight for Life, and silent auctions, and then prizes, for the first, second, and third place teams, and great food, networking, and community as well in terms of all the opportunities. And we'll be making a special announcement as well on something that we're releasing at the Fight for Life Foundation. Tickets can be purchased on our website if you go to www.fflf.org, short for Fight for Life Foundation.org, and then go to the hub you'll see an article that has information about the event and a link to purchase tickets.
That's awesome. I tell you what we're going to do too. Again, that is is that a week? When is that? A week from tomorrow? Yeah, a week from tomorrow.
1 week from tomorrow.
Why don't we? I'll put you on hold when we hang up or when we disconnect here. You talk to Caleb. We'll get you back on this time next week, and make sure everybody is aware of that within a 24-hour period. Marlon, you want to do that? I got to have you on more, man. This has been my bad. I've missed you a great deal.
Oh, man, well, I miss coming on, too. It's always great. You always got great energy, and it's great to connect and talk Colts football and just, life in general. As you started off this conversation talking about how you grew up. And,
big wussy, too. You're really proud to be on the big former wussy right here, aren't you?
See, but the key word is there is former. The key word is former, right? Not current. You outgrew that phase of life.
Do we know how our guy Bullitt is doing these days?
Say it again?
Melvin Bullitt, do we know how he's doing these days? Because people remember our show together back in the day.
Yeah, the Jackson and Bullitt show, JMV. Yep. It's been quite some time, but I haven't spoken to Bullitt in quite some time, but I see from afar, it looks like he's doing great things in Texas. He has a sports complex that he has down there, and from what I can see, it looks like he's doing well.
That's awesome. Well, next Wednesday, we'll do this again to remind folks. That's the Skyline Club, which is, by the way, awesome right there. That is going to be a great time to be had by all. But, Marlon, we'll remind people all this with you on the show again next Wednesday, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds great. I appreciate the opportunity.
We'll put you on hold, Marlon. You talk to Caleb. We'll set that up for next week. But it's good to have you back on, pal.
No, I appreciate it.
Marlon Jackson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Awesome dude. Caleb, set him up again for next Wednesday. I dig. I've only been in the Skyline Club one time. One damn time. I don't know how I've not been there more than once. I want to say that I was up in there. The one time I was there was thanks to our good friend Ann Paris. One time in the Skyline. Place is legit. Actually, I think I had to speak at the Skyline. Because you know that there are probably some pre-speech cocktails to make sure that this guy was ready to rock. Marlon does a great job. Just what a great guy. Thank you, Derek, for sending me that too. The Skyline Charity Classic in partnership with the Fight for Life Foundation. 6 o'clock, Colts Trivia, August the 13th. That is a week from tomorrow. I've got a little Colts pregame show coming up a week from tomorrow. Right on. I'm excited about it. We'll get Marlon back on next week. All right, top of the hour, Kevin Bowen. Was Bowen and James back in studio? Hey, wait, hold on, by the way. So what was James doing last night with his dancing stuff in the Center Grove West Gym? What was happening there? What is that little former?
Can we get into this on the other side? Because it was funny.
I know, we will. And who was the former IU guard, Ohio State guard, that was the Mr. Basketball in Ohio? That was
Gabe Cups.
Yeah, he did the Gabe Cup stuff. That was weird.
The TikTok dances.
Is that Gabe? Is it like Gabe Cups Jr.? Is that what James Boyd is? Did you see? I go, what are you doing here, man? What are we doing?
He's got to put on, man. He's doing that dance, I think, for his one of his cousins, I think.
Was he? I think if I did that, then somebody right in present day should be allowed to whip me. Just whip that ass. Gabe Cups Boyd. Other side. Quick break. We'll come back. Bowen, top of the hour. Fan Morning Show here, James Boyd, 7 until 10 a.m. here. Weekday mornings on The Fan. Marlin Jackson Podcast, 1075thefan.com. Back for the next. Hey, John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers. Back to school time, everybody. You need a new ride, a new vehicle. The hottest auto manufacturer out there right now is Buick. Do you remember back when Buick was just known as, hey, you're an old dude, go buy a Buick? Not anymore. The Buick Enclave in a variety of styles. SUV-wise, there's nothing better. You're going to love it, too. And you're going to love this. The inventory that Eric Wilson has for you, the incentives to buy, which is a big old fat coupon to help you save. They've got that for you, too. And the service after the sale, which is unmatched. So if you're in the market for a new ride, especially in the category of SUV, we've got you covered. Me and my good friend Eric Wilson, ask for him today. Indiana's best. Andy Moore, Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers. All right, happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind. That was a Little River Band Yacht Rock classic, but a happy anniversary to our friend Lance and the absolute best. His local team at LD Smith Plumbing and Drains at 317-927-7186. The anniversary is substantial because you have maintained being the absolute best in plumbing for all of your plumbing needs here in the state of Indiana forever. The category of the best is Lance and his local team, so any of your plumbing needs will be met by the absolute best at LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. 317-927-7186. Give them a call. Wish them and Lance a happy anniversary, and know that all of your plumbing needs, all of your issues will be met, will be rectified with the absolute best in plumbing. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains online, ldsmithplumbing.com.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, more on Gabe Cup's Boyd in a second in his dancing. Elwood High School needs football players. I hope that they have enough to have a season at Elwood. Last check, they needed 6 more for participation. So if anybody up in and around or knows folks in Elwood, if there is any way in the stinking world I can help to motivate to get the number of football players that's necessary to have a season, you guys let me know. Thinking about you, Elwood. Full-scale participation is what we're looking for. Last check, they needed 6 more. Let's see what we can do for Elwood High School and the football program. Caleb's over there. I'm John right here. Kevin Bowen coming up at the top of the hour. A little college football conversation coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Also a family 4-pack for the State Fair on the inbound. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for the District Tap. What a great place. Michael has got things absolutely working for you. Northside Clearwater Crossing. Have you asked for the server, the bartender extraordinaire, Sammy? She is outstanding. She will direct you to the damn good food and the position in which you can see absolutely everything going on TV-wise. And the entertainment. They have live music, certainly on the weekends, too. That's the District Tap on the north side, also downtown. For example, tomorrow night, the Fever back in town. You get a block away. You can post up pregame, and then after the Fever win and beat the Aces, you can head right back over for a little postgame activity with the District Tap location downtown, a block away from the field house. It is perfect. To find out more, the live music, the entertainment, the happy hour specials, the catering that they have as well, and the event space online, thedistricttap.com.
The Ride with JMV.
The Force will be with you. Always.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Scott Docterman, the Athletic National College Football reporter, going to join us at 5. So we get Docterman out of the spelling of that last name, do we, Caleb? Docterman?
Docterman.
What why Grease right here? I'm just curious. Which I do like this song, by the way. What compelled you with the Grease selection?
Can I get you behind the curtain here? I've just been trying to make a playlist of songs I think would be good for your show as re-entries, and this one was in kind of the recommended, and I was like, yeah, I've heard this song before. I like it.
I'm going to get a radio arousal right here because you're thinking in that fashion.
Okay.
No, seriously, that's good. That's a good thing. I think everybody knows as a part of this show for a number of years, when I get any sort of arousal, that's a good thing. It's like a good thing in terms of sports. It's not actual. It's not like we're in health class, but that is the term I use for, oh, that's good. Stephanie White, Coach of the Month. I love that. That's beautiful. And I just sent something out because I want the reaction that we get from just the incredible jackasses out there that have no idea. And while I love the fact that there are a lot of people that are Fever fans, and really not Fever fans, there's like a difference. There are Fever fans and there are Caitlin Clark fans. And some of the Caitlin Clark fans are nuts. And I think some of the Caitlin Clark / Fever fans, and I've said this before, I believe that once upon a time that we're talking about just a bunch of nerds, that all of a sudden now they become fans of Caitlin Clark or the Fever because of Caitlin Clark, and now they believe they're like John Wooden Jr. And what we have to do at times is to make sure that they understand that you're not quite John Wooden Jr. yet, Dungeons and Dragons, so take it easy. You just don't know. And part of that has been the constant, ridiculous criticism of the coach. And as I've said, if they don't live up to expectations, the blank will hit the fan. We know that because that's the way that it works in the world of professional sports with expectations and result. Well, unless you're the Colts, and then you just live with it for 10 years. But everywhere else, there are consequences. And there will be consequences if they don't live up to the expectations. But honestly, if you look around with the Fever and the reason why they have lost games, the reason why they lost on Sunday to the Lynx are just that much better right now. And the fact that the Fever oftentimes in that game couldn't guard a chair. So if you can't guard a chair, then logically, right? Logically, you're not going to be able to guard or stay in front of Olivia Miles. So that was a problem. That problem is not on the coach. The coach tried to find a variety of ways and means to deal with the fact that her team rarely could stand in front of a chair to guard. And it didn't work out. I will say this, they hung in the entire time, gave them a chance to win late. But this has not been a Stephanie White problem, no matter what anybody says. And then you saw Coach of the Month for the month of July. I love that. And all you dorks out there, take that. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is the co-host of the Fan Morning Show, along with Gabe Cups Boyd and his dance routine. It's Kevin Bowen with us right now. Did you approve this whole dance and video stuff being sent out by your co-host?
I was not faulting you there for just a second. I thought you were representing his basketball game. Boy, I'm probably not one to be judging anyone on their dance routines after my young jock performance there in Westfield. But
my goodness,
yeah.
you got a close up right here on YouTube. How is that? What are you laying in bed? What's going on? Oh no, there's a bag. We're oh look, we got playing going on right there. I love it.
We got Nellie Bowen crawling around. I put the two others upstairs. I figured she's the one
Good
that
for
could get
you.
into the most trouble. So Yeah,
I thought
I'm
you
down
had
there in
that.
the basement.
That camera's almost up your nostril right there. That's a pretty big close up right there. Big
You
close
want me to
up.
back up a little
No,
bit
no,
here?
it's good. That's okay. We need to see your chiseled features.
I thought you wanted to see my nose hairs. But yeah, James Boyd, I mean, he's going a little solo, right? I mean, it looks like he could be a backup dancer here for, the Jackson 5 or something.
Yeah, he's a dancing guy. Honestly, I watched him perform that last night. He did it like 2 or 3 different times, and he didn't look like he had much rhythm whatsoever. It didn't. It looked. He was begging.
So he's got no jump shot and he's got no rhythm.
He was begging for rhythm. Yeah. Last night sucked. They did. We played. I said this earlier. You can't play for an hour and a half, pick up basketball, and play 4 games. Then you're doing it all wrong. It was bad last night. So that's why I got to go back again tonight to Greenwood Christian. And for the first time since he became the producer of this show, Caleb can't make it. So there's a check mark.
Well, I was talking with somebody with the Colts, and they were asking me if they could join your pickup games.
Who'd this be?
So remember their PR staff? Do you know Hayden Clark at all? He's a good dude.
Can he play?
Well, I assume.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure. We're always wide open. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So send him to Greenwood Christian.
I'm a little hardcore about it, as Caleb can attest to. So once you're in, you got to be in. I don't take people bowing out or not making it, and I sure as hell don't take the last minute bails. We cannot do that because you're going to get it from me if that's the case.
I'll never forget a few years ago when James Boyd bailed on you Sunday morning because I thought he had a little strange next to him in bed, and you weren't happy with that.
I don't care. You got plenty of time to work that. You can get up at 7 and come down here and play for 2 hours and get back to it. You know what I mean?
Hell, bring her. She can rebound during warm-ups.
I have no mercy in terms of the text group of these guys. If you're a no-show, you're going to hear about it. And I don't care if that's at Southport or at Center Grove or at Greenwood Christian or wherever. If you don't make it, you're going to hear about it. So
I love your intensity.
I'm intense. There's no doubt. Hey, I want to ask you about your intensity. So you're a Notre Dame honk. We know that to be true. Were you upset about this whole IU Notre Dame thing, or did Zach Osterman talk you off the ledge this morning?
No, I honestly, what I want to see from college football is whether it's the Big Ten, the SEC, and that's kind of what Zach was hammering today. They get an agreement for a non-conference schedule, or you get the ACC and the Big 12 to join as well. And again, we can't agree on anything in college sports, so this is probably a pipe dream. But for me, I think we need to get all these Power 4 conferences to agree. Yes, your conference games are your conference games, and then all of you need to play one tough. Well, I mean, tough is kind of a loose term, but agree to one non-conference game. Because for me, when we get to late August, early September, John, that's that quiet period for the NFL right before Labor Day. And if you look at week 1 of the college football slate this year, it's terrible. And to me, it's all these teams afraid to, risk having a loss. And I think we need to get an agreement here. Sorry, we got some crying kids here.
It's all right. No, man, it's life. Life's working behind you right there. That's all good. Yeah. Is this the basement of the Bowen estate right here?
Yeah, this is Max.
Hey, Max. Hey, tell Max to go get his grabbers.
Max, you want to go get your chompers?
Get your chompers, and I want him to pull at his dad's ears while you're doing this interview. Can we do that?
You feeling a little bad, buddy?
Hi, Max. Hey, buddy. If you guys are watching on YouTube Live, well, you need to be right now because we got Max Bowen on the lap of Dad, Kevin Bowen. We're looking for the clampers or the clomper. What do they call it? The clampers?
Yeah, he calls them as chompers here.
Cool.
So let me go take him.
That's okay.
Upstairs.
You're going to take him upstairs? Kevin Bowen is going to take him upstairs right now. I'm back with you. Kevin Bowen, courtesy of the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I love real life. I think you guys know that. And this is real life. There's nothing, not a damn thing wrong with real life, brothers. There's not.
Except for when you got to go get drinks with your friends and then you get chastised on
Oh,
air
yeah.
about
Well,
missing
you might as well
hoops.
get
So
used to
that's
that.
real life.
You're the one that accepted this again. You knew what that was going to entail, so I don't feel bad about it. I am a force of nature when it comes to this stuff right here. And I feel like I'm hardcore. And, like, it's funny. I think I make up, when I was talking to Marlon about my younger existence, I think I'm making up for that right now. Seriously. And I'm glad somebody finally taught me that. So they really did. And I was lucky that I grew up around people. Like, when I grew up doing this, I look back at my time with Mark Patrick, and Mark Patrick is hardcore. But Mark Patrick was hardcore for a reason. And I appreciate that now. Maybe when you're in it at the time, you don't get it. But I think when you get further down the road, especially when you've really enjoyed what you've done, I think it becomes more magnified and you become more appreciative of it. That makes sense. Kevin Bowen is back right now. Is Max okay?
Apologies there, John.
No, man. No, real life is great. I was just telling Caleb that. I dig real life.
Yeah, a little chaos here. But yeah, I think to get back, I guess, to the college football thing, what I want to see is all four of these power conferences agree to one non-conference game. I think, and maybe we're going to need to expand the playoff to 16 or 24 before teams are willing to do that. But I think that is going to be something that is just needed. You know, when you look at where we're at right now from a non-conference standpoint. I'll be right there. Okay. And that to me, I think would be super beneficial from late August, early September, because frankly, when you look at those 2 weekends, those are weekends that college football world, I think, needs to be on center stage. And right now you just don't really have a lot of that.
And is it okay for me to say, I'm going to interject on this too, because I've been hardcore on my stance. Until somebody figures that out or makes a rule that has to happen, I don't understand why, and I'm not saying you at all, but I don't see why people are upset about what IU does, because IU, what they're doing is following a formula that clearly works and works with this environment and this landscape. And I think people are absolutely bat-ass crazy to believe that they should peel away from that until you have to. Until somebody forces you to do it, you do what best benefits your situation and what has. I don't know why. I do know why, because I know the Blue Bloods are upset about all of this stuff. But in terms of IU and their success, this has worked for them. So why should they feel compelled because of criticism to move away from that? I am staunchly in their category or in their corner in this. You do what you do as long as it shows the results, until somebody changes up the rules, which is inevitable. But for the time being, I love what they do.
Well, I think I guess a counter to that would have been the playoff 2 years ago. You know, when they go 10-2, or I forget what their exact record was, but you know, when they had the losses, or no, I guess they just had one loss, right? And a lot of people question, because Ohio State beat them, you know, pretty handily there late in the season. And there were some that questioned whether they should even get in. I think they were the 10 seed, if I remember correctly. I want to say Notre Dame was hosting as the 7. And a big reason why I think some of the committee members thought that Indiana should have been closer to the bubble was because of their schedule and because of the, you know, I forget if it was Louisville or Virginia that year, which one that they bought out from. So I think that would be the question, is when you get to be not an undefeated team, which who knows, maybe they'll just continue to win every single game. But when all of a sudden you get to be on the bubble, is that going to be used against you? You know, Ohio State, you know, they have Texas right now in the non-conference. If you were going to compare like resumes at the end of the year and it's Ohio State and Indiana with the same record, you're probably going to side more with Ohio State. Willingness to play a quality non-conference opponent. So that would be the question. When you go undefeated and you win the national title, you can do anything. You could schedule Eastern Green and people aren't going to care. But I think the question becomes if and when you're now being compared to a 9-3 SEC team, now what's that discussion going to be like?
Yeah, I think it's a massive blue blood pity party. because of the IU situation. And maybe that's part of the reason why, because it rubs those folks the wrong way, that I really enjoy it. And nothing against you. You know how much I like you. But you can factor in Notre Dame in that process too. I don't give a crap, I guess. And I think it's funny that everybody gets all bent out of shape about it. Is that fair? Is that fair from my standpoint?
What frustrates me, and again, obviously I'm heavily biased here. I just want to see these quality games. Like, to me, you imagine what a Notre Dame Indiana week would have been like for our station. You know, Notre Dame USC back on the schedule. Can you imagine if the Big Ten and the SEC agreed to a non-conference home and home, and now Alabama was coming to Bloomington, Indiana to play?
But it's about the end result, though. Like Signetti and company, they're working for the end result. They don't give a crap about what we're going to be entertained by. Do they?
No.
Why should they?
I know I know full well what they're doing, but I'm just talking what I would love to see from college football is, can we all agree on, all right, instead of playing Howard, Austin P, and Ball State in the non-conference, why don't you have two cupcakes and one quality? And again, if everyone is in agreement on the one quality, now it's more of a level playing field. And now you have appointment television late August, early September. That to me is something that, again, college football can't agree on anything. Clearly, I'm not holding my breath to say this is going to happen, but that's what I would like to see from an entertainment standpoint in late August and early September.
I guess it's kind of magnified for me, Kev, a little bit here, because I love to watch, again, all these high quality, high caliber, historic football programs collegiately have to try to all get bent out of shape because of the IU infiltration here. I love that. And I love the fact that IU is going to go about their business and do what they do, I guess, until somebody makes a rule and suggests they can't, and they have to go about it a different way. I love that. And I love the fact that you have a lot of people complaining about it. So I live in this world, you know, again, and I think Signetti's the type of guy that will adjust. Yeah, certainly if the rules would predicate that you have to adjust, he will. But I think he would adjust if he felt he had to. But at this point, whatever formula they and he's using clearly works. So there's zero way I would go about it any differently.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to live in a little bit of reality, if this was Alabama or LSU, I think we all be bitching and moaning. But because it's a team in our own backyard.
Correct.
And it's Kurt Signetti right now, then, you know.
We had to live with this for how we were born, and I know you've been a Notre Dame fan, so that's a little bit different. But we were born where IU and football around here was basically a doormat if it wasn't Notre Dame. So this is all new, and it's awesome. And the fact that whether you're an SEC team or a blue blood or whatever, they're all been out of shape about this. It's gratifying. I think it's gratifying to a level in which most people felt they would never see in the form of football around here. So it's great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's beyond foreign times, to say the least here. So, yeah, we'll see if anything changes. Because, you know, the SEC has the whatever. Everybody's got to play one in their non-conference. And it's something that I'd like to see the Big Ten explore, too, as a conference. But until the playoff expands, to your point, we're probably not going to see it.
Kevin Bowen, the Fan Morning Show, he and Gabe Cupps Jr., weekday morning, 7 until 10 a.m. on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. You know how much I love James, by the way. Hey, your conversation with Daniel Jones, did you, bend over and check out his Achilles? Did you feel that thing up to make sure it was okay?
Can't say I went, underneath the table or felt around on the old Achilles there, but... Yeah, I thought he gave us maybe a little bit, more than he does in a normal press conference setting. So appreciated him joining us. And, honestly, just the fact that here we are 6 practices in, John, and he's taking every single starting rep, that to me is the biggest thing. And there's been a willingness to let him be mobile and let him scramble. And while I don't think he's 100%, the fact that they're willing to do all that in late July and early August, I think has got to be viewed as a very, very positive step in his direction.
Hey, Kev, seriously, I'm glad he's taking every rep too, but do they really want to give any starting reps and start any dialogue between Leonard and Richardson? Seriously, would they rather not do that?
So you're saying...
Yeah, Because all of a sudden, then we'll start talking about, well, you see Leonard got starters reps today. Hey, Richardson got starters reps today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be more from a medical standpoint. Like if the medical team's like, hey, in this hour and a half practice, we don't want Daniel doing all 14 periods. You know, you would kind of have no choice. I mean,
Who would they use? Who do you think they would use? If they did, if they gave somebody else a starter's rep just for a moment of practice participation, who would it be?
I think if they played a game tomorrow, Riley Leonard would be the backup.
Is that because he's better or because
that is
something
because
else?
he's less likely to burn the house down?
Because he can feel the snap, right? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. So I mean,
how is snapping still problematic? By the way, do we know?
And it's like every day.
It's weird.
I mean, every day. And even Leonard had one or two yesterday that all of a sudden it's like a broken play. And I mean, some of it I get is on the center. I mean, Richardson has dropped several. So, yeah, I mean, these preseason games, you know, I assume of the 12 quarters, Richardson and Leonard will play a ton. But right now, I would it's clear the first team offense has been able to move it a bit. But the second and third team, it's been a struggle, to say the least.
Do you think that Richardson's going to go down in history as one of the most athletic guys, not to be viewed as athletic in history of sport? You know what I mean? I mean, the whole snap issue, but you look at him and you go, man, this dude is an absolute Adonis.
Yeah, I mean, the snap issue, I mean, to be fair to him a little bit, like, is it still eye-related?
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Who knows?
You know,
well, and that's problematic too.
Right.
I didn't even consider that, but yeah, I guess. Hey, I can't see the snap, so that's problematic.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Somebody in the media room the other day was like, you know, will Richardson go down as one of the biggest busts in NFL history? It'll be interesting, like if and when those conversations happen.
Yeah.
If you look at it, and I'm not one of these people that's like, you know, quarterback record is gospel, but it is kind of wild that like he could be viewed as one of the biggest busts in NFL history, and yet he's 8-7 as a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what was Jamarcus Russell's record? What was Ryan Leaf's record? I mean, you know, some of these quarterbacks just were horrible. And if you want to go a step further, I mean, the Colts fired that defensive coordinator that Richardson was starting with in Gus Bradley. So, but yeah, I mean, right now,
there's a baby. Is that Nellie? Hi, Nellie. Did you name her after Nellie Olson of Little House on the Prairie?
You say hi to Uncle John right there.
Hi, Nellie. Oh,
he's ready to get his hoop on. I think she's giving you a smile, John.
I know she is.
Look at that.
That's how all the chicks
she knows
respond.
You got some big...
That's how all the chicks respond to Uncle John right there.
She knows you got a big hoop game tonight at Greenwood Christian.
That is Maddie Bowen all the time right there, man.
Yeah, certainly not her father here.
Man, that's awesome. Well done. How's Nellie doing right there? Is Nellie
She's great. She's great. She's 9 months tomorrow. She's healthy and happy and crawling all over the house. And yeah, welcome to Zoom life of the Bowen basement.
So
here.
When you guys shoot videos with Max and he's got his clampers out there and grabbing helmets and stuff, and you guys do it on the sidewalk, how close? Because those cars are zooming by right in front of your house. How close are we on that sidewalk to the street?
I mean, look at this. This is Uncle John putting on his Care Factor hat here.
I know it.
Yeah, we live on the streets. It's a little too busy, maybe for my liking. So
are we
more of a backyard.
Are we thinking about getting out of the place, or are we staying there? Do you like it?
I do. I mean, from an interest rate, it's just, you know, not to get too homeownery on you, but the interest rate's just too good to pass up.
You guys want to come down and live with me?
I would love to like try and seriously pitch that idea to Maddie and just see if I could go 10 or 15 seconds before she's like, "Are you a bleeping idiot?"
Well, I got the old basement. Just live down there. And...
You got a crib for Nellie ready?
Oh heck yeah, got everything.
Let's go.
Everything's
Let's
active.
go.
Everything's active down there. Caleb has been to a pool party across the road before.
I was gonna say, Kevin, like this is what's gonna happen to me. He keeps dragging me around everywhere. It's gonna be me living in that house.
There's no
soon.
doubt Caleb's gonna be living there. He's gonna be living there.
I mean, you could do a bet. You know, what's gonna happen first? Caleb living there, or John having a grandkid crawling around his old house?
Oh man, Lord have mercy. Blake T. Keep it in your drawers, buddy. Come on now. Don't do that to me. So there's zero way I'm ready for that. But no, seriously. Hey, Fever, Stephanie White was the coach of the month in July. How much has been made about her being the most significant issue that has been absolutely wrong to you?
Yeah, it is kind of fitting how well that they've played this month, and now you see all the awards coming in. Yeah, to me, if anything, I think gripe a little bit about the defensive personnel. Someone that I feel like has played pretty well for him, and they've really needed has been Mo Billings. Lately.
Correct.
I know
yes. Yeah.
She's not as frontline as maybe some of the others we talk about, but she's been big for him. And tomorrow night, I mean, I know a lot of eyes will be on Colts practice, but that's a big one. Because beating the upper echelon.
Yeah.
I think is now kind of the next question for them. And home court is really real. I mean, there's an opportunity here. I mean, when's the last time they've had a home court series? So we'll see if they can get that here in the final, 10 or 15 games.
And the Pacers guarded a little bit to help themselves end up in the NBA Finals. And that's what's going to be with the Fever. They can score and score at will, but you're going to have to be able to guard a little bit. And they just can't guard a little bit right now. That's problematic for them.
No, I would agree. And, you saw that late in the Minnesota game, just could not get enough stops there. So, yeah, tomorrow night should be a good one.
Did you know Nellie Olson, Little House on the Prairie? Did you get that reference? No? Did you not watch the Little House on the Prairie? You were too young for that? How old are you?
Nellie Furtado. I'll be 37 next month.
You know what former NBA player Nelly Furtado dated and also used in a song of hers?
Oh, I should know this.
Caleb, you know?
Nah.
Two-time MVP of the NBA.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think they're both Canadian. He was he-ing and she-ing with Nelly Furtado, and she put him in that song.
Yeah, I should have known that a little bit quicker than I did.
Who's the most awkward professional basketball player that's ever been used in a song?
Oh gosh, I'm sure you could get some. Yeah.
Do you remember? What song is it where Jay-Z says handles like Van Exel? Nick Van Exel was in the song.
Yeah. But Nick Van Exel, I mean, he could score there for a while.
He could. He was a really good left. I'm gonna tell you, left-handed dudes mess up the world too in basketball.
He's a Cincinnati guy, right? Did he play for Huggins?
He did.
Yeah.
Nick Van Exel back in the day. So, all right. What do you guys got going on tomorrow morning, buddy?
Just previewing that night practice. So we're done with our Colts player coach related interviews there. I think we're trying to effort maybe the new Purdue AD, but I have a feeling that'll be having to be later because I think they're announcing it tomorrow, or maybe he's doing a press conference tomorrow.
I'm not going to ask you any questions about Dykton taking dumps in the yard, all right? Is that okay with you? Seriously.
Yeah. You can't endorse that, can you?
No. I mean, if I had to, I probably would because I'd rather do that in the yard in my pants, but at the same time, yeah. How did that come up this morning?
That's a long story. I was describing how it looks like when Daniel Jones is running right now, it looks like he might be trying to hurry to the potty a little bit now.
It's better than his Cubs arousal, though. Did you not just get worn out on that angle? Good Lord.
He's PCA. That's literally all he tweets about right now is WWE and PCA.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Mike Braun just walked by the window here. He told me he's going to give me some free gas. Do you want some?
yeah. What's the latest on the old gas tax?
I say, hey, get your ass in here. I want some free gas, Braun.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Exactly.
I said, I talk about Jasper all the time. I got free gas. Everybody's
I'll
going to get free
drive down
gas.
to Jasper if he wants me to fill up. Yeah, there's got to be some stations off of 231.
All right, pal. I appreciate it. Give Gabe Cups our best tomorrow, okay?
That made me laugh. Thank you, John.
See you, buddy. Bye, Nelly. Kevin Bowen and Nelly on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Quick break. I'm going to see if I can get Mike Braun, the governor of the state of Indiana, to give us all free gas right here when he passes by. So is that bad if I say that to him? Because I know he's the governor. I'm just some jackass talk show host, but frankly, I don't care. I'm going to ask him for free gas. I said, man, what are you doing to us here, gas tax? What if I call him Mike Gas Tax Braun? Will he like that?
I don't know about that.
Come on, gas tax. Get in here. Give me some free gas. Quick break. Back with you guys next. No, it's John for Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. Did you know that Oliver Winery in Bloomington, that's right there north of town, on I-69, started in 1972. Now the largest in the state, top 30 winery in the country. If you're a wine connoisseur, then you love Oliver Winery. Great deals on Oliver Wine right now. You can find it variety of angles at Big Red Liquors, too. Cutwater 4-pack cans, $2 off. Hey, shout out to Romy, my man. High Noon, hard seltzer, double shot power on the JMV Takeover. 8-pack cans, a variety pack right there, too. You're going to save at Big Red Liquors. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you. 19 new here in and around Indiana. Powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find out more online, bigredliquors.com.
We are partly cloudy across central Indiana tonight. Temperatures cooling into the upper 60s. Rain chances moving in for our Thursday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day with highs near 83 degrees. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
So you're going bald, and you don't want to go bald. In fact, you're motivated to do something about your level of baldness. I'm going to tell you, 9 years running with Darren Andrews and WeGrowHairIndy.com at 317-522-2995. I'm going to go in there, and they're going to do something called Boosters on Friday. And it works. It helps to maintain your real growing hair. So if you want that, if you don't want to lose it, if you want to do something about it, let's get started today. And they can do something about it too. The procedures that just get better year after year to make sure not only you regrow your hair, but you maintain that growth at 317-522-2995. Tell Darren Andrews I sent you today. WeGrowHairIndy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
I look a woman up and down and I say, hey, how you doing?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There it is. This you with girl, whatever you want, you're all alone. I tell you what, Nelly Furtado gave me a little something back in the day. How's she look now?
I don't know. It's a good question. I haven't seen any.
This is promiscuous.
Her. Yes.
I like that idea from Nelly Furtado being promiscuous.
Mm-hmm.
It's Steve Nash. She was dating Steve Nash at the time. I believe the 2-time NBA MVP, Steve Nash.
Isn't that crazy that he won 2 MVPs?
Well, he was a badass. He was awesome,
great.
man.
But, at that size, to be a 2-time MVP,
Well, at that size, and he scored, and he got everybody else going.
A lot of people say he stole one from Kobe, but the Lakers were really not great that year. He was the only guy on the team. Kobe scored like 35 a game that year, but they were like a 40-win team. Barely made the playoffs.
Those Phoenix teams, so it was Nash, Amari Stoudemire.
Yep. Jason Richardson, I think, had a stint that may have been towards the end, but you had, who else was on there?
I love when you play references from NBA players in songs. That's beautiful. Justin Knoll says that Nelly blew up. Come on now, Justin. You're going to get me in trouble.
Sean Marion, who we were talking about yesterday about Vincennes, he was on those teams.
By the way, we'll do a production meeting right here. I want to get Sean Marion on if you could track him down. And London Fletcher, because the Colts play the Commanders sometime. I want to get London Fletcher on the show. I think he does some stuff with the Commanders.
Sure.
He was on long ago. You guys are prompting me to ask Mike Braun to give us free gas. I'm going to ask him when he comes by this window right here. There's Nathaniel. Nathaniel's got work to do for the JMV takeover, by God. Greg writes this. JMV, last year Indiana beat the CFP final rank 23, 8, 10, 5 twice, and 2. And none of them in Bloomington. And see, I feel good about that, Greg. Thank you for sending that. That is why the rest of the college football world can bend over and take a smooch right off the rear end of the college football program in Bloomington. Seriously. I'm not trying to shake my fist and blow sunshine off everybody's rear end because it's a local team, but no, seriously. Oh, now because IU's done the hell, the rules got to change. No, they don't. And until they do, shut up. Let the results speak. I've told you this before. A lot of people disagree. The most hated team in college football right now is IU. Everybody hates them. They went from a nice, cute little story to transitioning to the only reason why they win is because of the way that they schedule and the amount of money that they have. You know what they did? The biggest part about that is they selected a team that best benefited their system with the resources that they have. And because everybody else didn't, too damn bad. You guys want free gas. Oh, look at this. Boris Diaw. Thank you, guys. Leandro Barbosa was one of my favorites. The pride of Brazil. Barbosa. My man couldn't do anything but score. He wasn't about to guard anybody, and he probably wasn't going to pass it too often, but he was going to score.
I think they called him the Brazilian blur.
Yeah, he was a blur, all right. He was a blur to get it to the rim.
Won a title with Golden State later in his career.
That's great.
Rajah Bell.
Yeah, those Phoenix teams were fun as hell. Rajah Bell, Michigan State, right? Is that Rajah Bell? Good call.
Rajah Bell was.
Oh no, he wasn't Michigan State. Who was? No, that was Charlie Bell. I was thinking of right here, Michigan State. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and they changed the game. Mike D'Antoni changed the game with their pace.
So, Gutshot Greg says there's a song out there that has Sebastian Telfair in it as a reference.
Yeah, that would take the cake.
Hey, Gutshot, I don't know what that is. Shout out to you. What song is that? Sebastian Telfair has a reference in a song. I got to hear that. So, Gutshot, don't leave me hanging, brother. What is it? Eric says, hey, the gov just suspended the gas tax again. I don't want to suspend. Well, I mean, I do want to suspend it, but I want free gas. I'm looking for free gas. I don't necessarily just want to have to pay $3.54 and be happy about it. Hey, great, I'm paying, which is better than paying $4.54, but it's not like that I'm getting all aroused with $3.54 per gallon of gas. And since we have the governor here, I think it's up to me to see if we can all get free gas for the show. He's got to be able to do that, right?
Question is, would he do it for you, John? I don't know.
He better. Why wouldn't he? We're both Southern Indiana dudes right here. I think it would help him out. I think leaning on me to promote. I mean, did you see all the dorks that walked in with him? No wonder.
I didn't get a
Lord
chance
almighty. To be hanging around with all those dorks and be cool. JMV, this is great. Ask grass or preferably gas. Well done. So did you not find the Telfair song? The Gutshot was talking about?
I don't have anything right now.
All right, we got another that's interesting here, too. Let me get back to this, if I can find it now. Apparently, Shannon Brown is in a Tony Braxton song. Remember, former Michigan State guard and L.A. Laker, most notably, Shannon Brown's.
He had hops. Let me
in
see what
Tony
we got.
Braxton song?
Tony Braxton?
Or was just like he and she in with Tony Braxton, which is not a bad idea. JMV, heading to Cincinnati to watch a couple of Reds games. Brought a whole bottle of Kirkland because, as you know, it's hard to watch them sober. Should I take an extra shot for you when I get there? Yeah, do that. And then make sure you're vocal about why in the world Nick Kroll is anywhere near that organization. Why? It's been long enough. Anywhere near it. But yeah, do that for me. So I've got to ask Mike Braun to legalize weed and to give us free gas. I'm on it, Glenn. Yeah, at this point, it doesn't bother me one bit. I don't have to be professional. We all know what this show is about. We're having fun, talking sports, whatever we feel like talking about. All right, quick break on the other side. JMV, do you think that the Colts are going to secure a veteran wide receiver? We'll talk about that coming up on the other side. Listen, at some point you're going to have to. Have you seen the skill position players? Nothing at all. I like Ashton Doolin a great deal, but come on now. You have to. Absolutely have to. And it's not even about logically sitting on $31 million of cap space. It's about, well, what the hell? It's like Diggs is going to end up with the Commanders. If there is a team that is questionable at the wide receiver position, have you seen the Washington Commanders list? Certainly. And we'll see if Diggs ends up there. And listen, Stephon Diggs was not going to end up here. But Keenan Allen is certainly a name. At some point, you do have to address that. It looks like the Commanders have. Will the Colts? At some point, you kind of have to. Quick break. We'll come back. A little college football conversation at the top of the hour. Do not go anywhere. A family 4-pack of tickets to the State Fair. It is about set to get underway here on this show tomorrow. We're loaded up. Howard Jones going to join us on the show coming up tomorrow. The artist, the 80s new wave pioneer. Howard Jones is going to be here coming up on Friday. That's not only Howard Jones, it's Wang Chung. It is English Beat and Modern English, and we're all going. Howard Jones is going to join me on the show for a couple of minutes coming up tomorrow to promote his ever-wise appearance coming up on Friday night. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, John here for Express Pro Tire and Auto. Get back to school road ready. Shout out to Laney Lou. Laney Lou starting a junior year at Center Grove, and we've got to maintain road readiness for back to school. I know a lot of you are dealing with this right now, too. Make sure your car, truck, or van is good to go going back to school with the kids at Express Pro Tire and Auto. Joe Childers has you covered. 13 Central Indiana locations, whether it's just the normal maintenance, oil changes, tires, brakes, brake pads, anything mechanically speaking, you're going to find the experts at Express Pro Tire and Auto helping you maintain back to school road readiness. And by the way, great deals for back to school going on right now. All 13, including Joe Childers, staked out in Brownsburg. That's Express Pro Tire and Auto. The 13 Central Indiana locations. Again, back to school road ready is essential. Do that with Express Pro Tire and Auto. Online right now, expresspro.com. The summer heat can wear anybody down. It's going to get hot and humid this weekend, but is there other reasons maybe why you're feeling drained? Even with the AC cranking out right now. So 1 in 4 dudes out there, 35 to 50, have low testosterone, and that can lead dudes to a bad dude deal. Levels of energy. Let me go ahead and highlight this one. Lack of sex drive. You don't want it. Motivation, mood, and more. Low T drains you of energy and motivation. So what do? You go to the experts at the Low T Center. Book a free testosterone test to get the consultation from a licensed provider. They specialize in testosterone replacement therapy. Explore a range of peptides and even get that jump on the bod that you're looking for with GLP-1s and medical weight loss protocols. Low T Center has been the #1 name in TRT since 2009, and that's for a reason. Don't spend another day wondering why you don't feel like yourself. That's fixmylowt.com. Get a jump start on that scheduling process. Do it right now. The free testosterone test and more. That's fixmylowt.com.
The Ride with JMV.
It's a beautiful day for baseball at Wrigley Field in Chicago as the Chicago Cubs face the troublesome Cincinnati Reds.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There it is. Handles like Van Exel. How good was Van Exel in your opinion back in the day? Nick Van Exel, the pride of UC. I love this, by the way. This is when this was before that. Why can't I think? This is before Beyonce and he got together, right?
Yeah.
So this was kind of like his
spark the flame.
It did spark the flame right there. Handles like Van Exel.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right? Crazy.
It is. Yeah, crazy in love.
Van Exel was. Do you remember Van Exel at all? Or are you too young?
Too young.
Oh, man. Dang.
Lakers, is that right? Played for the Lakers, is that right?
Oh, what? Dallas, the Lakers, I think, too. Did play for the Mavericks for a couple of years, too, maybe?
Lakers, more. Nuggets.
The Nuggets as well.
Dallas got traded to Dallas, yep.
Nick Van Exel. JMV, the Reds are only 5 games out of the wild card. What's their chance, you think, of pulling a Houston Astros win streak and get in? Well, Josh, if it were any other team that we're talking about here and not the Cincinnati Reds, I would say, yeah, you know what? That's logical. They could do it. But it's the Cincinnati Reds. We all normally know how that works out. So, Kayla, Matt says this. It's whale. And the song Whale says, quote, you oughta your league like Telfair. Whale and work. So does that mean you're out of your league like Telfair and he wasn't good enough to be in the league, or you're not as good as Telfair? Good reference song right there. Whale and work, according to Matt. JMV, Ballard, Crawl, and who else would you suggest for your roundtable discussion? Yeah, man, it's been a long time with both right here. There's ample opportunities to prove. JMV Van Exel had the nickname back in the day, quote, Gangsta Hoopa from Brett. Nick the Quick is the one that I knew. And that's back during the time when we were running out of really good nicknames. I think we're completely out of them now. When's the last time there was a good sports nickname? Everything's just incredibly lame now.
No, there's none
Nothing
now.
left. Nothing. JMV, hope you can get the gas thing done. I just dropped $148 to fill up my diesel truck because I thought the gas tax was going to be reinstated tomorrow. $5.36 a gallon. Killing my beer fund. Yeah, I'm going to get the hey, Gov. Come on, man. He is suspending the gas tax, but I think a lot of us need this for free. JMV, people losing their minds over $35 a month to watch the Pacers while walking into... Oh, I'm sorry, that's old. My bad. JMV, solid NBA Lamar Odom reference by Eminem in Berserk. Didn't know that either. Did you know Lamar Odom was in Eminem Berserk?
No.
Yeah, did not know that. I'm glad we got on this topic with Bowen a little bit earlier. That's strong. Skivvy says Reggie Miller is mentioned in a 311 song. 311 is the rock/ska band of the 1990s, most noted for what song, which I love a great deal. One word title to this song would be Down. I don't know what song Reggie Miller's referenced. I don't think it's Down, but I love the song Down. Been played on the JMV Takeover before. All right, quick break. We'll come back. We got college football conversation coming up on the other side. Scott Docterman of the Athletic, National College Football Reporter. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. I think the top 5 teams right now in the country all have what in common, Caleb? Do you know?
Top 5 teams have
Top 5 teams. I use number 6. They do not have this in common with the 5 above them. You know what that is? Returning quarterbacks.
Okay.
Returning quarterback. Josh Hoover from TCU is in for IU, taking over for the number 1 overall selection. Fernando Mendoza. I believe the top 5 in the country, preseason-wise, all have returning quarterbacks. That and more with Scott on the other side. Family 4-pack, State Fair passes we got for you as well. You guys sit tight. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, it's John here for Connecticut Water Systems. If you do not have Connecticut, you do not have the best. Simply put, you need Connecticut Water and Connecticut Water right here and right now. Connecticut Water Systems. Hey, what's up coming up out there in a second? Connecticut Water Systems, Connecticut.com. That is Joe to get that free in-home test today. Connecticut Water for the best. It's Joe, and sign up and get that free test today. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, Yankees, you can take your apology out of your trophy and shove it straight up your ass.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You know, if it all works out and he can participate and help his football team, then, you know, his life could change. But I know one thing about him. He'll give it his best shot. He really will. And we'll just see what happens.
It's Kurt Signetti regarding the return of Stephen Daly, who was practicing as they're officially underway down in Bloomington in preparation for the season. The preseason 6th-ranked Hoosiers and defending their national championship. And Stephen Daly coming back for a 5th year. And I know everybody thinks this whole thing is weird. Everybody believes this whole thing to be odd. But at the same time, it simply does not matter. You are playing with the rules in which you are presented. And if everybody else isn't down with it, if everybody else is struggling because of it, then so be it. So we're going to get Scott on here in just a second. I was just out in the hallway with Governor Mike Braun. Today, I declared a new statewide energy emergency prompted by new disruptions in global oil shipping lanes in recent weeks and reinstituted my suspension of Indiana's gasoline usage tax and gasoline excise tax. Now, I tried my damnedest for everybody. I'm trying to get us all free gas. But I did get the card right here. The press secretary, Caleb, gave me the card. His name is Griffin Reed. And I said, hey, I'm going to get vocal if we don't get some cheaper gas around here. Griffin Reed. This is also above my head. But they stopped by when I was in the break right here. Yeah, I know. 354 is still substantial, but it's better than 454, I would guess. For sure. JMV, Stephen Daly is 22, so nobody is too confused, I don't think. Agreed? It's all good. JMV, 311 is Jack-O-Lanter's Bliss. I'm betting on my bliss, and my path is lit. See? The microphone is live. I'm rocking my body smooth like Reggie Miller in an airborne freeze frame. 311. JMV played 311's Who's Got My Herb for the governor. JMV, you mentioned Ox Baker yesterday on the show. That was with Blake Groupie in the place-kicking battle with Spencer Schrader for the Colts. The hometown of Blake Groupie is the hometown of the late, great former wrestler around here, Ox Baker. Remember him in Escape from New York, where the bat with nails disappeared and then reappeared in the battle with Snake. Ox Baker. Ox Baker was here. And if you remember, if you watch Channel, we were talking about Channel 4 with the passing of Jenny Hodge. But one of the other entertainment values we got to know growing up around here, especially if you're a member of Generation X, was that of the professional wrestling on Channel 4. Most notably, Dick the Bruiser. But Dick the Bruiser, Bobo Brazil, Electric Steve Regal, they used to wrestle all the time at the Big Red Barn in Zionsville. Anybody up in Boone County can talk about the Big Red Barn in Zionsville. But Ox Baker was a part of that as well, if you remember correctly. And we brought him up yesterday because he is from the hometown in Missouri of that of Blake Groupie. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we'll double back to that in a second. State Fair passes we have for you as well. From The Athletic, the National College Football Reporter, Scott Docterman joins us now. Hey, Scott, good afternoon to you, pal. How are you?
I'm great. How's it going today?
All right, so we look at the top 5, right? In the preseason rankings, they all, I believe, have returning quarterbacks. Now, number 6 has a new quarterback. They're the defending national champions. But how do you compare, and this just occurred to me, you have returning signal callers compared to having returning coordinators, which has been a staple for Curt Cignetti, having these coordinators with him over this incredible run. How do you compare or balance out the two in this case?
I think in this case, if Indiana had a different name, if it was a blue blood name, it would get the benefit of the doubt that it did not get here, and it should have. And I think what told me a lot about the way the coaches are voting is that they had the second most first place votes, yet they're 6th overall, which tells me that there's a ton of coaches that voted them 10th, 11th, somewhere in the teens. And that's really unacceptable. If you want to continue to make this poll matter, you've got to vote the teams where they really are. And Indiana, to me, is no less than a top 3 or 4 program right now. And based on everybody that they have coming back, 2 outstanding coordinators, the best head coach in the country. And even though they don't have a returning quarterback, they have one who was very successful last year. And Josh Hoover at TCU. And what we've seen out of Curt Cignetti in these 2 years is he's made good quarterbacks into either very good quarterbacks in the case of Curtis Rourke or elite quarterbacks in the case of Fernando Mendoza. And I think Josh Hoover probably has a stronger pedigree coming into Indiana. Doesn't mean that he's going to be as good as Fernando Mendoza, who is one of the best we've seen in Big Ten country in decades. But it does mean that they should receive more of the benefit of the doubt than they received. And I think it's unacceptable, again, for a lot of coaches to rank them low, to force them to be number 6 overall.
You know, and again, Scott Docterman of the Athletic College Football Reporters on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline with us right now. When you look at this particular team, is it almost like it's IU against everybody right now? A year ago, they were this incredible story, but now it's transitioned into, hey, look how they don't schedule. Hey, look how much money they have, considering the resources, and they bought themselves a national title. It seems like with what they did a year ago, it has completely offended the blue bloods that are out there to really now hand off the most hated to the IU football program. Is there any fair in the way you judge IU, at least from those around them, as being maybe the most hated during the college football landscape going into this season?
I think outside of Big Ten country, that's totally fair. I mean, what we're seeing right now is pretty typical, which is the college football industrial complex tearing down teams that don't quite fit into the blue blood category. And it happens every year. We've seen it with teams like an IU who is able to accomplish great things. We've seen it in the past with Iowa, with being the fake ID of college football, and several other teams that have kind of fit that description. And so you do see this tear down. It's like, you're not cool enough. You're not old money. You're not good enough for this crowd. But I don't think that's the case in the Big Ten. I think there is immense respect in the Big Ten for what Indiana did. You look at the programs that are competing at a similar level. I don't think Oregon feels that way. Ohio State understands what it has. And the other programs in the Big Ten are really more or less, I wouldn't say in awe, but very much respectful. But I think you look at primarily from SEC country, they're threatened by what Indiana represents and how it's accomplished. And you look at this team, and there are very few weaknesses. I think Indiana, it can be the villain, but you know what? I think Curt Cignetti would applaud being the villain as well.
So how does it magnify even more defensively the return that we found out yesterday? And he was in practice down in Bloomington today in preparation for the start of the season for a 5th year. That of the injured and the celebration after the Big Ten title game of defensive lineman Stephen Daly.
I mean, this is a massive return. I mean, you can't ask for a better player to come back and kind of get this 5th year than Stephen Daly. I mean, he got hurt last year. I remember seeing it happen. I was in Indianapolis when it happened, and to actually be able to win the national title without him, I thought, oh man, that it was going to really hurt Indiana. But instead, Indiana was able to win it without him, and yet now you have 3 returning starters up front on one of the tougher defensive lines in the country. You have some really elite level linebackers coming back. A lot of the secondary. I mean, I think Indiana could be just as good as it was last year because even at the second level, I mean, Aiden Fisher was an incredible leader and a tremendous tackler, but I think they may be even a little more athletic now with Ro Hardy and Isaiah Jones. And in the secondary, D'Angelo Pons did something that, it's hard to replicate, but they've still got some really good players. I think Jamari Sharp and Amari Farrell are as good as it gets. And then bringing in guys like AJ Harris from Penn State and Preston Zachman from Wisconsin. I mean, these are really good Big Ten players. So I think that they're right there, top 3 in the Big Ten, to me, top 3 or 4 in the country. And they have every opportunity to go back to back this year. It's really going to be about, can Josh Hoover make the plays in some of these critical games?
So Scott Docterman of The Athletic talks college football on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So we saw what Fernando Mendoza did, Heisman Trophy winner, first overall selection going to the Raiders in the NFL draft. That is going to be a lot to live up to, and hopefully from an IU angle try to surpass, and you're number 1 for Josh Hoover. How do you view him going into this season? Some of the similarities, if there are any, and really a multitude of differences between these 2 high-level quarterbacks in Bloomington.
I think you've got a guy who's very experienced, has thrown the ball a lot at TCU. He's made quite a few mistakes, I would say, more so than what certainly that Indiana would want, or that it will probably be coached out of him, the turnovers. But I think he's got the potential to be more efficient. Maybe, if I shouldn't say more efficient, but efficient, maybe a little bit better runner at times. And he does have a pretty good assortment of wide receivers to choose from. Now, Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper were tremendous. And it's hard to replace them even with good players. Charlie Becker, though, had such a phenomenal postseason and late season. And you throw on Nick Marsh, who kind of underachieved at Michigan State, but it wasn't necessarily his fault. And I think he gets coached right at Indiana, that it can really help Josh Hoover go from being a very good quarterback to now an elite level quarterback on par with the top 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, and maybe, at or near the top. So I think it's hard to say he's going to equal what Fernando Mendoza did, because he was so critical in those big moments last year, whether it was Penn State on the road, Iowa on the road, late in Miami. I mean, his run for the touchdown where he got hit at the 5 and lunged. And I mean, that goes down in Big Ten lore as one of the greatest touchdowns in Big Ten history. So I don't know that Josh Hoover can do that. I also don't think it's fair to expect him to do that. I think what you expect from him is efficiency, make the makeable plays, make some important plays when he can, and don't lose the game for you. And I think he's more than capable of meeting those challenges head on.
Scott Docterman of The Athletic talks college football. He was kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So we mentioned IU and ranked 6th in the preseason coaches poll in the top 25. And the first 5, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, and Notre Dame, all have returning quarterbacks. Who do you think ultimately is the best quarterback of those 5 teams I just mentioned in the coaches poll?
It's interesting to see what the upside is on Arch Manning. I mean, we are all kind of expecting him to, if he could be like Peyton or Eli, then he probably would be number 1. I did my preseason Big Ten poll, and I put Julian Say in there because he was off the charts when it came to accuracy. And when you have those receivers, he's going to look like the best in the country. So I think I would probably put him at the top as of now. Dante Moore has incredible talent, would have been the number 2 pick. And I know there were a few people saying that he should have been number 1 over Mendoza. I don't buy that, but I think, Dante Moore is very good. And I think CJ Carr has the potential to be, to take that next step and maybe put Notre Dame as a finalist again this year. I think they're in that category, but And then, of course, Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, I think he's kind of a safer guy, but I'd probably go Sayin as of right now.
You look at the Big Ten and you kind of, Ohio State, Iowa, I should say Ohio State and IU. But what about teams with a new coach like Michigan, like Penn State? And then I want you to factor in a team like Washington, which a lot of people believe could be an ultimate dark horse. That and, an old standby is Kirk Ferentz and what he has done in Iowa City. It's a team that's often forgotten, but I know Kurt Cignetti said that, they played them as tough as anybody a year ago. If you remember, on the road, a chance to win, and IU pulled that one out of the fire. You look at the Big Ten, especially with those two teams in mind within the top 25.
I think this is where the top 25 got it right, even though I think IU was the most underrated team at number 6. I think that there is a top 3, and then there's a next tier of about 5 teams that could be playoff caliber teams. And I think Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana not only will be playoff teams, but at minimum hosting playoff games, and 2 of them might end up with byes. I think they're that good. Out of the next group, there's just everybody's got a question mark. I started Michigan, where I think they have the potential to maybe be a team that could struggle. They have an incredibly difficult schedule. They open up with Oklahoma at home. That's their second game, and then their first Big Ten game is against Iowa. Later on in the season, they play Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. And you look at those types of games, and if they could start 2-2 and lose to 2 pretty good teams in Oklahoma and Iowa, and their season's going to feel like it's lost. And Bryce Underwood has all the talent in the world, but you got to realize that at some point. And a new coach and Kyle Whittingham, I thought he was a little tone deaf and trying to understand what the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is all about. You can say all you want that there shouldn't be hate in sports, but there is hate in that rivalry. So I think you kind of have to look that way. Penn State is the team that I think I would put in that as 4th spot, because they really weren't that bad last year. They were 7-6, fired their coach midseason, but if you look, 5 of their losses were by 1 score. As we know, IU went right down to the wire there. They lost by a point at Iowa. They had some bad losses to Northwestern and UCLA that were by a couple of points. And so I think when you bring in Matt Campbell, who is an outstanding coach, who really broke the ceiling at Iowa State and brought 24 players, and a lot of them are really good players. I think, and they're coupled with their schedule, I think the Nittany Lions have the chance to be in the playoff discussion, win double-digit games. And then out of the rest, Washington, I'm curious about, the DeMond Williams flirtation with LSU before he got scolded and sent back to the corner. And, how much does that play out for them? USC has a really good offense, and but it's an important time for Lincoln Riley. If he doesn't get over the top, if they don't win 9 or 10 games and get to the playoff, I mean, is it kind of exhausted his time there? And Iowa is an intriguing team because they are very physical. They have 2 big question marks to me, which is quarterback. They've got a competition there that'll go all the way to the beginning of the season, and their defensive line needs to be replaced. But other than that, I think the Hawkeyes will be, again, a really tough out at a minimum. And they only have 6 guys that max out their eligibility this year. So they've got a 2 or 3 year push there for Kirk Ferentz, who seemingly gets younger as he gets older. I think out of that group, I like Penn State probably the most to push for the postseason, or the playoff. But I think the rest have some key players that can really put them in that position.
Hey, Scott, is Lane Kiffin going to supply more in the category of normalcy in soap opera or winning this season?
Well, you want to talk about overrated. Starting the year 13th, when you went 7-6 last year, and you have all these new players and a lot of players left, that's a testament to the storyline as it is more than the actuality. I mean, they have incredible talent, as they always do at LSU, and I think he'll win, but I don't know about right away. I mean, that week 3 game, I don't know that we've seen many games that'll have that kind of a grudge match, in a long, long time with Lane going back to Ole Miss. And there's going to be a lot of just like there was with him at Ole Miss, but now even doubly so. I think there's going to be a lot of teams gunning for him. And I don't know if this year will be the year that they kind of break through. But strange things happen in that part of the country. So I'm anxious to see if Sam Levitt can be the kind of quarterback that he wants and can win against Ole Miss and Texas A&M early. Because if they can, then they might start the year 8-0 before they get into the really tough part of their schedule.
If you have the opportunity to change anything about college football right now, and obviously around here, most IU fans would not want to change anything about it, considering the results that they have received in the past 2 years. But how would you approach it moving forward? What is best, whether it comes down to the college football playoff, or do they need additional teams, or the whole scheduling criticism that's out there as well, the conferences, all of this? What would you do to, in your belief, improve college football moving forward?
I think if you start with, I'm going to set aside everything with the bill through Congress and all the issues associated with NIL and everything, because first of all, that'll bore everybody listening to this, and second of all, it is just so comprehensive and detailed. It would be really hard to really go into depth on that. But I'll say for the sport itself, I'm one of maybe the very few guys in media who is absolutely a proponent of the 2014 playoff, and the reason why is that as these conferences have grown, and there's 18 teams in the Big Ten, there's 16 and at least 16 in the other three major conferences, that schedules can really determine how teams perform and what their record is and whether or not they can get to the postseason. I mean, IU caught a lot of flack a couple of years ago because of a somewhat easier Big Ten schedule. It really wasn't their fault. I mean, they played both championship finalists from the year before, but neither of them really were good. But when you play these such strange schedules, and you have Ohio State, whose teams were 51-30 last year in Big Ten play, just an incredible schedule, versus Indiana, versus say Penn State, which is 33-48 in the Big Ten. So there's such discrepancy. They could have the same record but be vastly different. So I like the thought of a 24-team playoff because it provides those teams that maybe either lose a couple of games or just have an incredibly difficult schedule a chance to compete and win in the postseason. I look at Iowa being one of those. I mean, last year went right to the wire with Indiana, right to the wire with Oregon and USC and Iowa State. Lost 4 games by 15 points. If they were going to get in the tournament, they would have been a really tough out. And when you start to look at kind of how the field shook out last year, with 3 weeks left in the regular season, there were 35 power conference teams with 3 losses or less. And essentially, you took the top basically 10 or 9 out of the first 12 for the power conferences and put them in the playoff because they really didn't fall. And everybody else is just playing for a bowl game. Well, we're all now looking in a different way. And so, and then likewise, you get to the final weekend, there would have been 10 different games that not only would have been able to determine the field, but who was in the field if they would have gone in a 2014 playoff last year. So you had excitement, you add suspense, you add games that, maybe would be in like Big Ten country determining, okay, who's going to go to Tampa and who's going to go to Charlotte. Instead, now you're going, oh, these 2 7-3 teams are playing for the chance to go to the playoff, and people are going to go and watch and be more excited for it. And those programs have something to play for. So that's why I'm more of a proponent of it. I understand the past. I love it. I love the history of college football, but we've changed. I mean, it's not a bowl-based system anymore. It's a playoff-based system. And I think having it in tiers, 8 teams get byes, 8 teams get home games, 8 teams get road games to start it off. I think that's a fair way to decide it.
All right. Final thing, Scott. Brian Haynes, Mike Shanahan, that's defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator at IU. Are they the 2 best coordinators on a team in college football? And then how much longer would you maintain they could stay in Bloomington before they end up getting cited for a head coaching job somewhere around college football?
That's a great question. I think right now you have to say they're the best combination. You can make different arguments over who's the best coordinator, and whether or not Bryant Haynes is better than, say, Phil Parker or somebody else, Jim Knowles in the game. Then those are fair discussions. But I think collectively they are the best. They proved it. I think the one thing everybody says about IU, they gloss over the fact that this was one of the most fundamentally sound teams on both sides of the line of scrimmage that we've ever seen. And that's one of the things you don't really see with coaches coming in like the way Sig did. You see it more like what Kevin Wilson did, which was really develop the offense, but the defense wasn't there. He was able to do both parts because they were so fundamentally and developmentally sound. So as far as how long can they be there, somebody's going to come in with a big offer, and it might be this year, maybe it's a year down the road, and it's going to be up to them to decide whether that's the type of team that they want to, jump onto. Some people just want to be head coaches. Other people want to be head coaches with a chance to win, and most of the time when coaches leave, it's because they weren't successful enough. And so, or should I say, hiring a new coach. So I think it's going to be up to them as to, hey, if I go to this job at this school, can I build it quickly through NIL and all those funds? But I think they can be patient because IU has proven to be outstanding, and they're willing to pay, which I think was really important for them, both their coaching staff and through NIL, and why they're going to be successful not only last year, this year, but also beyond.
That is Scott Docterman of the Athletic National College Football Reporter on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Scott, that was fantastic. And we're going to utilize you, if you don't mind, as a valued resource over the course of this college football season, man. That's good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you don't mind. Are you okay with being the valued resource that we're looking for here?
I can help you out. You bet.
I appreciate you, pal. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Scott Docterman, that's a shout-out right there to Caleb, who found Scott. That is well done.
Shout out to Scott, because I was awful with getting him on the Zoom, and he was very gracious.
Well done. Scott was good right there.
He was great.
Hey, by the way, so Mike Braun has done whatever he's done, the governor of Indiana, to make sure that gas prices maintain and they don't elevate even more. I should mention that he said, hey, you and I have to go out and drink sometime. I said, hey, you had me at drink. See, I don't give a crap about politics. You know me. I'll have cocktails and beers, Caleb, with anybody. Anybody. Don't care about politics. But I do want free gas at some point. Actually, he walked by. He was on with Hammer and Nigel, and we are right here where everybody enters after they walk right by the window. So that's why I brought all that up. But, yeah, cocktails and beers. And he brought up the Schnitzelbank. Obviously, he's from DuBois County, too. So I'm also from Southern Indiana. He brought up the Schnitzelbank. And a shout out to Alan and the Schnitzelbank. You know, I love that. But I don't know if people in and around Jasper, or if you're from Jasper, have you ever been to Snaps? Snaps is just a little bit north of the Schnitzelbank. Great place to go. You can get beer steins on the wall. Your own beer stein on the wall at Snaps. Plus, they have this. They have ahi tuna on the menu, buddy. What about you and ahi tuna?
I can't say I'm too well versed in there, but
one of these days you will.
I would love to try that.
If you
I would
hang
love
with
it.
me long enough, you will. Let me tell you. Love it. Ahi tuna, buddy.
Ahi tuna. Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
And Scott was really good. Now, I could not tell if he was enthusiastic about being our go-to guy or one of our go-to guys, or less than enthusiastic.
I think it's better than it has been this week with some of those questions you've thrown at people. Like we talked about yesterday, Ben Solak, not going to go out and drink with you. So
I'm looking at Solak right now.
Yeah, he's at Brown's
If there's somebody
camp.
that looks like that, he would say, yeah, I don't know about going out and drinking with you.
Let's be nice here.
No, well, I mean, he does. He looks like my son.
He does get those jokes a lot, I'm sure.
Oh, we don't look like the same age. I am saying I want some free gas. Somebody asked if I'm saying Did it sound like this? I am not saying I want some freak ass. Free gas. Did you understand that clearly? Free gas and not freak ass.
I did.
Yeah. Either one would be okay. No. Free gas is what I'm saying. Not more bad news regarding Hunter Green. Not more bad news? Oh, yeah. More bad news. Put it under the category of will never, ever, ever be consistently healthy. Hunter Green of the Reds, the right-hander, the power pitcher, back to the 15-day injured list. This is never good when it's elbow soreness. Right elbow soreness. Reds fans are used to it. Quick break. We'll come back to that and a lot more. Final 30 and your chance to a family 4-pack. We're going to get you to the State Fair with your fam coming up here before the end of the show. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Weather updates, courtesy right now of Fox 59.
Chances moving in for our Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day with highs near 83 degrees. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, John, for the District Tap, 2 locations, Northside, Clearwater Crossing, downtown Indy. Tomorrow night, the Fever back in town. You're going to post up there a block away from the field house. You're going to pregame party there. Then you're going to go over, watch the game, come back after a Fever win, and enjoy a post-game play that is beyond any other two. TVs everywhere. You got happy hour specials to celebrate before, obviously, and then the damn good food right there. The District Tap downtown, Clearwater Crossing. As for Sammy on the north side there at Clearwater Crossing, the bartender, the server, you're going to love the entire environment too. And if you need it, the catering, they got it for you. If you need it, they have the event space and live music as well. To find out more, thedistricttap.com.
The Ride with JMV.
One run on, let's see, one hit. That's all. We got one damn hit.
You can't say damn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Scott Docterman was awesome of The Athletic, the college football reporter. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Bowen, both Kevin, the father, and Nellie, the daughter, made the show a little bit earlier. Fan Morning Show tomorrow morning, 7 until 10 a.m. He and Gabe Cupps Boyd will be a part of that show tomorrow morning, per usual. Gabe Cupps is because James Boyd did a dance routine and sent that out to social media. I guess he did that last night, right, Caleb, with us when we concluded play after 4 stinking games of pickup basketball in an hour and a half. You know how bad that is last night at the West Gym at Center Grove? So bad.
So bad. But yeah, no, James, he's got some moves. You're not going to get me to
He looks like he had
here.
zero rhythm in that. Seriously,
You
there
think?
was no rhythm.
I would like to see you do it.
Oh yeah. Well, if I don't want people will make fun of me, but I have more rhythm than that. Seriously, I do.
Well, I would.
I'm a member of Generation X, and obviously when I turned 21 and went to the dance clubs in the 90s, I have a lot more rhythm than that. That was just like this. That was like old guy hand gestures. That wasn't anything they were getting down with, right?
T-Rex
Yeah,
arms. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
No,
like
I get
old
it.
guy
I get it.
rhythm.
But hey, I would like to see you. Like we have a TikTok page for the Fan. Let's go.
Do
Let's
we
get
really
you,
have a TikTok?
Let's get you up there, and instead of you talking about IU football on there, let's get you doing a TikTok dance.
TikTok dance right there. Hey, by the way, I brought this up a little bit earlier. So Elwood High School, they did not have enough football players to field the team this year, or were struggling. And I believe going back to August the 3rd, at the time, they needed 12 players to show up for the first day of high school football practice. Evidently, according to my good friend Litzy right now, who was up there in the area, said that Elwood is now up to 21. So the belief is that they're going to be able to field a high school football team. Now, if anybody in Elwood can verify this, let me know. But we wanted to make sure that Elwood is going to be able to field a football team. Becky at the McClure gas station, where I got lost once upon a time and ended up, says evidently to tell me hello. Now, one night, Mike Wells and I, we go to Harris Hoosier Park in Anderson to see Belle Biv DeVoe. Actually, it's Bobby Brown and Belle Biv DeVoe. Great show. And I leave, and I get all turned around, and instead of going south toward where I live in Bargersville, I ended up in Elwood. But that's outstanding. So hopefully that is the case. That's the Litzy update. According to Litzy and others, Elwood, they have enough to field a team. Well done. Sean writes this, done and done. Shot glass with boobs, a gift from Jason Hatfield. That is an awesome shot glass right there. Yeah, it's got a shot glass with cleavage. Well done. JR writes this, JMV, earlier you mentioned there are no good nicknames. I believe Indiana Bones is an epic nickname. Why is that? Because that's for James. He's got a picture of James with a bucket hat and talking on the microphone. I don't get that. Epic nickname?
Huh.
I don't know why that would be.
Did I miss this maybe from the I
don't
listened
know.
to the interview this morning. Maybe I missed this.
I don't get it. Somebody needs to further explain. All right.
It is something to do with James. I don't.
Yeah, I don't get that. What that is. Somebody will have to further explain. This is from the athletic director at Elwood. Thank you to everyone who shared our posts, prayed for us, reached out, and talked with kids about joining our football program. The support from our community, neighboring towns, and people all across Indiana has meant more than words can express. You know how cool this is? Because of all of you, we are now up to 21 football players. We have enough to officially start the season, and we couldn't be more grateful. We're still looking for a few more to join the team. Another 5 or 6 players would help us fill out the roster and complete a full season schedule. Oh, that's awesome. That is an awesome sense of community right there. Derek White says Indiana Bones means he's skinny as hell.
I think
my man changes like shirts twice, I think, when we play too.
Honestly, he did kind of put me onto that because it
Really?
does get sweaty. Now you have a nice,
I want to be sweaty.
Well, I know you do. You have an awesome reversible jersey.
It is an old school. Yeah.
That blue, that's like early 2000s.
It is.
Like, it is awesome.
It is
I've
awesome.
never told you that, but I love that.
Because these guys on Tuesday night can't tell each other apart, so we've got to go different color jerseys.
But it's really cool. Like,
And
it's like something you'd find in that East Bay magazine years ago. Like, it's cool.
And I love it too. I don't mind wearing it, but am I wrong when I say, you know what? There's only really 10 of our dumbasses out here. I mean, is it that? It's not like we've got 25 dudes out here. All right? There's only 10. So if you can't tell who's on your team, maybe you should go sit in the stands somewhere.
Like you did last night for that game for 35 minutes.
35-minute pickup game. Come on, guys. That's why I'm playing. I mean, again, I'm glad I'm playing tonight at Greenwood Christian. Thank you, Gerard, for asking me. And our guy over there has got previously scheduled plans, evidently,
Social
and will
life,
not
yep.
be making the appearance. But, yeah, I've got to go back and play tonight because the half-assery of last night. Got to make up for it. I've got to work at a caloric deficit. If you're going to ask me, so how do you maintain or continue to lose weight or stay into shape when you drink as much as you do? Caloric deficit. I'm like Nickelback. When I drink, I don't eat.
That's a lot of nerdery to me.
It is very nerdy.
Caloric intake sounds like
I know.
nerdery.
It's not nerdery, it's douchery. I'm a douchebag. I'm not a nerd, but I'm a douche. There's no doubt. I am like, if there were if I were royalty in the term of douches, I am douche royalty. King douche is me. I'm not proud of it, but I can't help it. JMV Snaps in Jasper is awesome. Great food, cold beer. Been there many times. That is Gator. By the way, Gator at Snaps in Jasper, they have Gator Bites, which is gator meat that's fried up. You ever had gator meat over there?
No.
Gator meat's good.
Ahi tuna and gator meat.
Gator meat fried up at Snaps in Jasper. Thank you, Greg. Thought Scott was a really good college football interview. We're going to keep him in the rotation. JMV, good stuff from Scott of the Big Ten and IU. Shout out to the guy sitting in the little chair for setting it up. That's you right there. Well done, Caleb. All right. We'll take a break and come back. Shout out to everybody on the show today, from Kevin Bowen to Nellie Bowen. Marlin Jackson, who authored the biggest play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts, has a Colts trivia event for his foundation coming up a week from tomorrow at the Skyline Club downtown Indy, which is going to be awesome. That coincides with that first Colts preseason game. Marlon will join us again next Wednesday to remind you of that, but Marlon Jackson on a little bit earlier. And Scott Docterman of The Athletic, the national college football reporter, was outstanding too a little bit earlier. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Mike Chappell is going to join us coming up on tomorrow's show. And one of my favorites of all time, and simply put, as musicians or stars go, one of the nicest dudes to ever walk, Howard Jones, musician Howard Jones, going to join us coming up on the show tomorrow. That is extra special for me because he is one of my all-time favorites. Howard Jones joins us coming up tomorrow. Quick break, we'll come back. Do not go anywhere. Family 4-pack, estate fair passes, and more coming at you. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Of course, Westfield and down in Bargersville, respectively, right here. Where do you want to begin here with the absolute best discounts you're going to find anywhere? Grab a buck. Check that. Grab a duck and save a buck sale. That's what it is. Let me go ahead and reverse that effect for you. So here's what you got coming for you, too, at both locations. Save 10 to 50% off all retail purchases, labor not included, for sale. Shop in the garden center. And the checkout, what you do is you pick up a rubber duck from the pool and win 10 to 50% off of your purchase. It's called Grab a Duck, Save a Buck at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Save 10 to 50% off your purchase. Sundown Gardens, 186 in Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com. Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. You can find them both. The big deal, grab a duck, save a buck at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Tell them JMV sent you. Oh, GLP-1 weight loss injections in Indianapolis. Are you thinking about wanting to lose the weight, wanting to get back to where you once were, doing the things you used to do, but now have been compromised because of the weight gain? Do you just want to look better? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to be more healthy? Well, Thomas and Lauren and Samantha, they can get you on track today at Premier Weight Loss. The two Indy area locations, now is a great time to get started. North side at 317-643-4444 and in Fishers at 317-567-9100. You do that, and you also buy into it, which means you change up your diet, you work out more, you all of a sudden now have a regimen that you follow. And the best part about it is my friends at Premier Weight Loss, they keep track on a monthly basis to make sure you're goal-oriented, to make sure you reach your goal, to make sure you get to the point to where you want to get thanks to Premier Weight Loss. So give them a call, 317-643-4444. Make sure you tell them that I sent you to get started on your very own weight loss journey. August is a great time to do it, so now is the time at Premier Weight Loss. Again, tell them I sent you, pwlindy.com. Hey, Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover. Saturday night, B105.7, 6 until midnight, the All Request Saturday night. And, hey, it powers what you're doing coming up this weekend. If you're going to have a party, now is the time to make sure you are stocked up and ready to go. If there's one thing that I have taught you over everything else, our time together is when you host a party, never, ever, ever be BYOB guy. Never. You're the host. Provide. And even if it's Jägermeister, which I don't like, provide the Jaeger. Never BYOB. And know that you're going to get the great deals going on at the 100-plus locations of the state of Indiana. Big Red Liquors. On beers, we're talking Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Modelo, Corona, all of the incredible brands you're going to find at Big Red Liquors for great prices and great deals going on right now and leading into the weekend. No, just say no to BYOB host. Make sure you provide and you have the best party possible. And that starts with a trip to Big Red Liquor. So 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you. The red hot deals and more. You can find more discounts online right now, plus the location nearest you. That's BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
We're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This would be War and Lowrider, Caleb. Never seen Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke?
No, this song always reminds me of George Lopez's show. In the middle of the night, you'd wake up at 3 a.m. on Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah.
And this song would be playing in that intro where they're all like jumping up in the air. Yeah.
See, when I think of this, I think about Cheech and Chong and Up in Smoke immediately. And Cheech's car was the Love Machine. Because that also, he did, I'm just a love machine. So you know the dude that produced the Up in Smoke series or the Cheech and Chong series, and specifically Up in Smoke. So if you've been a fan of the NBA for a number of years, you always remember at Laker games. And Laker games, Jack Nicholson sat right there courtside, right, Caleb? Right next to him was a gray-haired dude that always wore a hat. That dude was Lou Adler, who was a significant part, if not, I think the producer of Up in Smoke, the original from 1978, and a number of other films. Lou Adler was the guy next to him. True story. If you've never seen Up in Smoke, you gotta. It is incredibly glorious. Really, from start to finish. There's not even a boring. Normally, you're going to find in films a boring spot in a film. You're writing that down in your JMV diary right there?
Yes. I have White Men Can't Jump is one of them that I got to watch. I know that's bad. I haven't watched it.
You can watch it, but once they play Duck and whatever that other guy's name is in 2-on-2, half court, once they play, what was the guy's name that was Duck and then somebody else? Once they play and they win the prize money, you can shut it off because the rest of the film sucks. And there are films like that, too. The first 45 minutes of Eddie Murphy Raw, stand-up from 1987. First 45 minutes, you watch that, you can bail on it.
Night Shift was another one that we've talked about.
Night Shift is an absolute right there. Henry Winkler, Michael Keaton, a Ron Howard directorial classic. Night Shift.
Deliverance
from 1972. The debut acting for Ned Beatty, and quite a debut considering the circumstances that he was a part of in that film. And a Burt Reynolds classic, too.
I'm getting to it, John. I promise.
All right. Up in Smoke is awesome. I would watch Up in Smoke before I'd watch any of those. Easily. Just thought. Up in smoke. Hey, family 4-pack, right? Passes right now to the State Fair, the family 4-pack. Number 15. You want to do that on the text line right here, right now?
All right.
Family 4-pack. 317-239-1070. I want to see you guys working on this. The family 4-pack to the Indiana State Fair. And we'll talk that up. I know Warrant and Vixen, they have taken the place of Brett Michaels, who had to bail on it. But I think Eric Turner's going to join me, one of the co-founders of Warrant, coming up later on this week. Warrant and Vixen together. That is a part of it. Gene Simmons, who joined us last week on the 20th, is going to be performing live. And all the deep-fried fare that you love and the enjoyment of the Indiana State Fair coming at you. Number 15, the family 4-pack right here and right now at 317-239-1070. Quick break, we'll come back. I'll re-intro here because we got Fever Weekly a little bit later on. I'll re-intro our conversation with former Colt Marlin Jackson coming up on the other side. Stay right there. It's 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Here's Johnny. Down. David Letterman.
Hi, David. I'm Grandpa.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, Caleb, the King and Duck. Once you see Snipes and Harrelson play the King and Duck, you can shut off because you don't need to see Rosie Perez on Jeopardy or Woody lose it all again in another bet. You can just shut it off. The King and Duck is who they play. Hey, more on this tomorrow. Tony Romo's CBS suspension may not be temporary. Our friends at the Sports Business Journal report, per SI, that the network is using the situation to test a Jim Nance J.J. Watt pairing long term. Romo's OWI hearing September the 21st, if cleared, return uncertain. If not, CBS would invoke a morals clause to exit his $17 million deal. Nance and Watt, the test pattern. We ready to go right here? All right, tomorrow's show, loaded up. Do not miss a second. Again, if you missed it a little bit earlier, by the way, John Nolan, Fever Weekly, bottom of the hour. If you missed it a little bit earlier, the most important play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts, the author, Marlin Jackson, who joined us a little bit earlier today. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is the author of the biggest play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts and a friend of this show. Marlin Jackson joins us. How you doing, pal?
I'm good, JMV. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
It feels way too long. Did you look back on your playing career on whatever level and think, man, I'm glad I was pushed in the fashion in which I was?
Oh, man, I was listening, you talk about life. I don't have to necessarily look back and think I wish I was pushed. I mean, I was pushed hard from an early age just for my life circumstance, period, right? Like, I grew up with a lot of adversity within my household, within my community. So that shaped my attitude and that shaped my mindset as a competitor. So the playing field, that was my outlet, right? To let out everything that was pent up on the inside from having difficulties in everyday life and struggles. And that became my outlet on the football field. But, and listening to everything you guys are talking about, adversity is helpful in helping you grow. The only way you actually really grow in life is through challenges and through adversities. It's not through everything being perfect and everybody telling you how great you are and not having any difficulties. That's not where growth really occurs in life.
I so wish, looking back on it, that I was challenged even more. I do. And you're kind of like, I talk to my kids about not having regrets. And that's one massive regret that I have to live with right now too. And maybe it's easier to look in the rear view to see exactly who you were. And like, I enjoy who I am right now, but I just wish that there would have been more that could have been squeezed out of me at the time. And honestly, I feel bad because I kind of wussed out on a lot of things back then too. And I have a great deal of admiration for those guys that were coached hard. They agree to be coached hard. And then those that also coach them hard.
Yeah, it's always a fine line, but I think that's some of the challenges in society now is, parents being okay with their kids being pushed and being coached hard, understanding that the ultimate goal is about growth, and it's not necessarily about their comfort level and where they are right now, but where we would like them to be, and it's going to take some challenges and challenging moments to actually help them get to that possibility that is within them.
It's Marlin Jackson who joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What is your thought on this Colts team? Not just for what you've seen so far in camp, but for the expectation. I mean, there are a lot of question marks, and really going into the season, there is a lot of crossing your fingers and hoping. But what is your expectation for this group as we view it right now, early stages of camp in Westfield?
Well, I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind when you pose that question is there's a lot of potential, right? And I said there's a lot of potential because of what we saw last year before the injuries occurred. And having that perspective and seeing the current roster, knowing that if we stay healthy, this could be a really, really good team with Daniel Jones at quarterback, a strong offensive line, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and others, right? There's a lot of potential on offense. When you look at the defense and you look at this young, talented secondary, you look at the young guys along the defensive front, along with the veterans that are anchors up front, like the DeForest Buckner and Grover, and then you look at the young talent at the linebacker position and safety position, you see that there's a lot of potential, but do we stay healthy? That is, for me, that is the number one factor going into this season is can the key players on this team stay healthy? Can you keep Daniel Jones healthy? Can you keep Jonathan Taylor healthy? Can you keep Alec Pierce healthy?
So Marlin Jackson with us. You are a valued member, as I mentioned. You're the author of the biggest play in the history of the Indianapolis Colts, of that Colts secondary. How do you view up and down this Colts secondary? Maybe compare that between the one you played with and the expectations that you feel, hopefully, when healthy, this group can live up to.
Well, I mean, the sky's the limit. When I look at this secondary on paper, I think arguably, talent-wise, one of the best secondaries in the National Football League. There is a lot to be excited about. Wally is picking up right where he left off in training camp last year. It's great to see. It's great to see Sauce Gardner healthy because we all know he's an all-pro level player. But then, we know what Mooney Ward can do when he's actually healthy. And then we know the playmaking ability that Cam Bynum has. So then, you add in A.J. Halsey as a young, talented safety. If he plays up to the level of his potential, those starters in terms of the two corners, the nickel back, the two safeties, I mean, arguably the best in the league, but then it comes into play. We all know that at some point in time in the season that there are going to be some guys that need to step up, right? The backups.
It's interesting, too, and Marlin Jackson joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, that we're not going to find out a lot of things until week number 1 against Baltimore, and that's why things get thick schedule-wise with this team quickly. In the first 5 weeks, you got to come correct, or this is going to be problematic for the remainder, too. And I think that's why you kind of look at this and you wonder, hopefully Daniel Jones is ready. We've yet to talk about Alec Pierce. It may be some edge rushing potential consistently with Leatu. Latu can be involved in this, but a lot really has to come together early, and this has not been a staple of this Colts team in recent history. Last year it was, with injuries compromising things, but prior to that, not so much.
Yeah, well, we cannot afford to have one of the stars that we have historically had over the last, we want to say, 5+ seasons, with last year being the exception. With the difficulties that lie ahead with the scheduling, there is no room for error early in the season. And I think that it should have created a sense of urgency in the off season, and even more so now that we are in training camp. So I'm sure the coaches are preaching urgency.
Marlin Jackson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Awesome dude. Caleb, set him up again for next Wednesday.